Good morning. It's the Big Mad Morning Show. Excuse me, 918-460-KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Listen online, the website that rocks, KMOD.com. Past shows are available on iTunes. Search under BMMS. Listen with your cell phone. Get the iHeartRadio app. Available from the apps of your cell phone provider. More on that at iHeartRadio.com. And we are on Facebook. Facebook.com/BMMS69. That's where you can hang out with us each and every day. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Corbin.
Good morning, Gimpy.
Good morning.
Going through puberty, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got tickets to Metallica. 2 pairs of tickets. 2 pairs of pairs. So you're going to be going to a show on Friday and then one on Sunday. This is all happening down in Arlington.
Rock and roll!
For the Metallica M72 World Tour. That's going to be happening in August of next year. Anybody who wins with us is going to get qualified to get an upgrade to get some gas and hotel while you're there. The Metallica lineup is, of course, the same both nights, but there's a different opener and different set list for each night. Pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
So be listening for that at 7:30. We've got best and worst of the weekend. We've got our listeners are awesome. If you are ready to not buy gifts for your significant other anymore and get a divorce, Jeff can help you with that. He'll be in at 9 to answer your questions. We've been doing this for years, and each time I always learned something that I was not aware of. So don't feel like there's any question that you can't ask when it comes to family law. He'll be in at 9. You can get your question to us ahead of time a couple of ways. Email show@KMOD.com, or you can text it, BMMS, and whatever that question is, to 82945. And we are looking for heroes, people that go above and beyond in your life. Can be a teacher, can be a first responder, can be a coworker who's been a volunteer, who started a food bank. That's who our last one was. And that's what it's about, is finding these people that are unsung heroes in our community. And we've teamed up with U.S. Cellular, and we do something nice for them. The last person we gave $500 to, if I remember right, she was very excited to buy canned goods. Mm-hmm. So make sure you go to the website that rocks, KMOD.com, and fill out the form of the hero in your life so we can recognize them. We've got a couple more we're going to do. It's all from U.S. Cellular. So, again, KMOD.com. Hey, heroes.
You rock.
How you feeling, Linz?
Okay.
What's going on?
Wow.
That's not the normal response.
No. Should
What's
be
going
like,
on?
I'm feeling great. Super fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, a little sinusy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sneezing a whole bunch over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Just a different response from you than normal, what I was expecting. So
Yeah.
that's why
Were
I'm
you
just
expecting
checking
really
in.
good?
I mean, usually you're very peppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Little sinusy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything else is good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything you need to tell us?
Is there something you want to tell us?
No.
Something you'd like to tell me?
Oh.
No.
No.
Think so.
Yikes.
Something you'd like to tell me before I tell you?
I already know. You might as well just
don't think
complain. You're manipulating, bitch.
I just was asking because we just did the toy drive.
Yeah.
And, man, we were so grateful for everybody that came out and collecting toys for the Marines and toys for Tots. And our sponsor, U.S. Cellular, Dave & Buster's was awesome.
Hell yeah, they were.
Tulsa Power Sports and Outdoors was awesome. Some really big UPS.
For real,
Yeah.
man. For
So cool.
real. Brought a whole damn truckload.
Yeah.
Literal.
28 footer.
truckload.
Yeah.
It's a pup truck.
We could have taken more.
We could have.
Mhm.
28 foot's nothing.
And we did
Nothing.
actually, because he had a coworker show up later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, next year, we can't wait to be a part of it again. So
Yeah.
we look forward to you guys being a part of it. Thank you again to everybody, specifically U.S. Cellular and Dave & Buster's, for making it happen, and Tulsa Power Sports and Outdoors. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I went home and slept my hour and then continued on with my day.
Amen.
Oh, just an hour's all you got, huh?
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. I fell asleep for an hour on the couch and then got up and went to bed and slept for like 6 more. It was great.
Lucky.
I was laughing multiple times during the toy drive just because of how evolved. I mean, I've been doing it for more than 10 years.
Mhm.
And the in the beginning, it would be like crash when I get home.
Oh, yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, and sore all over.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sleep until like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
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 Right? And now I do stretches throughout the toy drive, so I'm not
Nice.
sore.
Little
I
yoga.
do sock changes. I hydrate a lot,
Yeah.
right? I saw Gimpy drinking his liquid
IV.
IV.
Yeah.
I drink something very similar.
Yeah.
Just
That's
it's very bizarre how different it is. And then I get home, I got a shower,
Oh, yeah.
right?
uh-huh.
It's called a phone scrubber. So I do my phone scrubber, which kills all the germs and it's supposed to, right? I don't know if it does.
Right.
I vanage my nose. You know what that is? You know what a vanage is?
No.
Oh, girl.
Is that like a
It's
neti
so
pot type thing?
bizarre.
It is, it makes neti pot look like kindergarten.
Excellent.
Right.
Tell me
It's like
more.
a power washer
It's-
for your nasal
yeah,
cavity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of a large device, but it's got two little nozzles on it that go in your nose.
Uh-huh.
One is for the sucking and one's for the spraying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you put it up there and you hit the button and you have to keep your mouth open.
Right. Of course.
Because it all spews out, or else you're going to get a mouthful of snot water.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it takes like 15 seconds maybe. And then everything's in the bottom vessel and it's cleared out your sinus cavity.
It sounds like something I need in my
It
life.
is fantastic.
Yes, because I do have it's like a neti pot, but it's not a neti pot. It's an electric one. You push the button and it's only one nostril, goes up one, comes out the other.
Mm.
But I like the sound of
Yeah.
one that sucks and one that blows.
Amen to that,
at
right?
the same time.
It's a pretty good video.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably awesome.
Ooh, if I
And-
had that, I probably wouldn't have spent the whole weekend sneezing.
I've done it with just like cold water, which is
Yeah.
refreshing. And then I've done it with like kind of warm water.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Now, do you always use distilled water whenever
No,
you do it?
you
Because
don't
it
have to.
freaks me out.
What freaks you
Amoebas.
out?
The thought of amoebas
What are you talking about?
in
You
the
drink
water.
you drink tap water.
But
So-
it goes through a
So you
filtration. I
think
still
the
put it in the
water-
Brita.
The water's only clean because they tell you it is.
Sure, but so's the distilled.
Yeah, I know. But still, it's just a weird thing because I read a couple of stories where the
Oh, this
neti
is
pot got a
fun.
kid or got an adult. Yeah, they got it through the amoeba through a neti pot, using a neti pot.
But if you're not cleaning the neti pot after every use,
Uh-huh.
then that could totally happen. That's the
Yeah.
problem with those type of stories is you see a headline and you're like, oh, that could happen to me. Well, they also had like it stored near the sock, their dirty shoes
Mhm.
Right.
or something to that effect.
Yeah.
It's never been cleaned ever.
Yeah.
So you can't take those. Yeah, distilled water out of the tap is fine. You drink it. And Gimpy's right. You only know it's clean because they say,
Mm-hmm.
but you drink it. And sure, you do the Brita thing. How do you
Yeah.
even know that's working?
Right, because they tell you.
Because the
it
light
does.
is
By the
still
way,
green.
Have you seen the thing that people are doing on TikTok with Britas?
No.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is-
And there's a huge part of me that wants
Oh,
to
the
try
vodka
it.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Any liquor at all whatsoever. But yeah, I've
It's
seen
a-
a lot with vodka. Yeah.
The idea is you buy a cheap vodka and
Mhm.
put it in a Brita, and it's supposed to make it as good as whatever high top shelf
Yeah.
vodka there is.
Hmm.
I'm not that patient.
I don't know if that would work.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know.
It's charcoal.
True.
Yeah.
That's what filtering
Yeah.
does.
I say it's worth a shot.
There we go.
I mean, why not?
I got
mean,
noses to vanage. I
Well,
ain't
here's-
waiting on that.
Here's you got the Brita, right? I get like a $10 handle. Well, of vodka.
Pop off.
Oh yeah, and that way you're only out $10, right? And I get it. You got to wait. It takes some time, but if it's worth it, why not?
Okay, so I am not a tequila person.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell the difference between low grade tequila and high grade. I can
Mhm.
tell the difference.
Truth,
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brown water, I'm sure you can. I can't. I think they all taste like garbage, with the exception of maybe a few.
Mhm.
Right? It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Vodka, it all tastes the same to me,
You think so,
Mm.
huh?
and vodka's tasteless. That's
See,
why alcoholics love it.
That's that. I
don't
have to
think
disagree
so.
with you on that one. Vodka has a very distinct alcohol taste, like a rubbing alcohol.
It tastes like
taste.
alcohol.
Yeah. But when people say tasteless, you think water. Water is completely tasteless unless you know it's
Tastes like
whatever-
water.
Exactly. There is no flavor there to it.
I mean, yes, there's a burn of alcohol.
Mhm.
I get you.
But
There's no taste. Like tequila has a taste and a burn of alcohol.
yeah, absolutely.
Separate categories.
Absolutely. But when it comes to like cheap, you can tell the difference between cheap vodka and good vodka.
Mhm.
I'll get you a bottle of Tavarsky or a bottle of Pop-Off or something, and then get you a bottle of Tito's. Hell, even get you a bottle of Western Sun. I mean, that's still, it's cheap.
Right.
It's affordable, but goddamn, is it good? So if you get
$17 for a handle.
Isn't that great?
It's amazing.
So do that sometime. Get you just like a half a pint of some of the cheapest vodka you can find, and I bet you can tell the difference. I can tell the difference.
Yeah, but if I'm pouring it, I'm going to know.
Because it's already in your mind?
No,
so
I'm
you have
going
to do like a blind taste test sort of thing?
Yeah.
Done.
Okay,
I need a
sure.
reason to go to the liquor store anyway.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes, my counter space is getting low.
Yeah. You go in there and they're like, put it on the bill there, Gibby.
All right, hit you on Friday. Mm-hmm.
Got it already sacked for you.
Yeah.
You know you got a problem if you go in and they have it sacked.
Right. Your
Huge.
brand, your bottle.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the bar and they have your beer ready, you're like, nice.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem.
Doesn't feel
then.
like a problem.
No.
Again, how my life has evolved, that doesn't happen anymore. Starbucks, it happens.
Yeah, they already got you.
Hey,
There you
Corbin,
go,
the
Corbin.
huge.
Mhm. Give me plain black Joe, please.
How's the wife and kids? Oh, you know. How's the job? Just put a little change in my pocket. Go on upstairs. Best is waiting. Saloon reference. All right. So, yes, Toy Drive was awesome. Thank you to everybody that came out.
Mhm.
People brought gifts for us. And, dude, that Star Wars game is money.
Yeah, I never did get a chance to try it, but you got Brady hooked on it, so.
Dude, it
Yeah.
was
Their high
awesome.
score. Oh, I wonder if you still have the high score.
The Star Wars Dojo
Ah.
is what it was.
I walk out out of the bathroom and I see you with this contraption on your head, and you're just kind
VR
of
thing. It's a
Yeah,
VR.
it's a VR thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just kind of look kind of funny because you got the thing on your head, and you're just kind of standing there, and you got one controller in each hand, and I'm just sitting there watching. You know, I was like, wonder when he's going to start. And then I got tired of waiting, so I went in. But I laughed at you a little bit, and I kept on going. With my
The
best.
funny thing about VR helmets or face things or
Mhm.
whatever
Mhm.
is it's like halfway between I'm gonna poop and I'm gonna jump. Like it's the weirdest position. It's kind of like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your stance.
Yeah.
Right.
you're almost in linebacker stance.
Right, right.
Quick feet,
Mhm.
turn, right? And you're almost like little. If I'm down a little bit more, my center of gravity is a little lower.
Uh-huh.
Right, right.
I
And
might
there's
be squatting.
no need for any of that. You can stand
No.
up. You can
No.
stand up like a normal
No,
human
you're
being.
right. The ones you watch on TV or on the internets,
Uh-huh.
right? They're like they look like they're about ready to go to war.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Nobody looks cool doing it. Nobody like their hand on their hip, like hey,
Right.
here.
No, man, because you're in it. It's right there. You are in it.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah.
And I've never had. Usually, every VR experience I've done, I'm like, well, this is dumb,
Right?
but this was awesome. And you also see this happen on internet videos of people using their VR helmets or masks or whatever, visors. What are they called? VR
Mask, I think.
Headset.
Headset.
headset. Okay.
Headset.
Is you're breaking something. I almost broke the machine. There were many
Uh-oh.
times I would like, because you have to throw your lightsaber
Uh-huh.
and I would kick and hit this thing. And Eric, the manager at Dave & Buster's, he was like, yeah, it happens all the time.
Well, yeah, man. I love watching those people on those videos just run into walls and stuff. I mean, that's one thing that kind of holds me back from it, you know, but at the same time, well, that and the cost, you know, it's not cheap. Those things
Yeah.
are not cheap, but I love watching it fall over tables, run into walls,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
doors or whatever. Yeah.
Those and hoverboards, man.
Right.
People get hoverboards and they're like, look at me, I'm 12 again.
Yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way on that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, man. I remember we had that one at the old station, right? People would just buzz around. Usually it was Brady's daughter, but other people, you know, would just buzz around the station. I was like, let's try this. I'm totally coordinated.
No, he's not.
Mm.
So I had my vape, that giant vape contraction that I had in my back pocket, and all right, we'll get on this son of a bitch, get this one here, and start wobbling back and forth as you do when you're doing the hoverboards. And that son of a bitch came right out from underneath me. Boom. And I landed, busted my ass, right? Completely shattered my vape that was in my pocket. So now I've got this oily stain covering half my ass.
Yeah,
you know?
and the stain from the
Right. And I was just like, damn it. And haven't been on a hoverboard since then.
Don't blame you.
I see too many people get injured. I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
that is not for me. What might be for you though is two pair of tickets to Metallica for that M72 World Tour down at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington next year. We got some tickets we'll give away for that coming up at 7:30. We've got best and worst of the weekend. Our listeners are awesome. Jeff Hensley will join us. We'll take a break and we'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show is coming right back. The Big
His friends and family, and they developed a relationship for over 10 years. This went on. There was always something keeping them from meeting in real life, including poor Bobby suffering from a heart attack. So she became suspicious because
In year 13?
yeah, right. She said that some of those years she was in a romantic relationship with the fake Bobby. She believed he was living in Australia, and she had seen pictures of, come to find out, it was based on a real live man. But she received a message in 2013 on Facebook, a private message saying that Bobby had been shot and was in a coma and suffered memory loss. And then in January 2014,
Just trying to get out of it.
she learned that he had died. But soon after that, she receives an email out of the blue informing her that Bobby was actually alive, but faked his own death and is now in witness protection.
Goodness gracious.
So that's when she's like, okay, I got to hire a PI. I got to figure this
No, you
one out.
don't.
I know.
No, you don't.
Cut ties and let it go.
But she did. But she said she went through so much distress because she really cared for this human being. And, you know, it's like what we all hear about catfishing. I love this person. You develop emotions and real feelings for someone. So even though she says, you know, I know this is ridiculous, I was falling in love with this person. Then she finds out that Bobby was drinking heavily and was suicidal. In 2015, she was informed he had suffered a brain tumor followed by a stroke. Well, come to find out, it was her own cousin who not only made up Bobby, but every single person in that Facebook group.
No kidding.
She was.
No
all
kidding.
50 people.
Don't ever underestimate the links people will go to cover a lie.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I think that this possibly is a mental condition
I agree.
on her.
That's fair.
On her.
The person that got catfish?
Yes.
I was going to pin it more
How
on
many-
the catfisher.
I
Well,
mean,
For
Well,
sure. For sure.
Mhm.
That's obvious.
Mhm.
But we're like, oh, poor her. What do you mean poor her?
I
She
think
had
it's-
how many
Mhm.
signs?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
yeah,
very
yeah.
true.
How common is it to fall in love with someone on the other side of the globe?
Mhm.
I mean,
Right? There was so many signs, but she yet still believed, and she believed and fell in love with someone. She didn't fall in love with someone. She fell in love with a story.
mhm,
Okay.
She didn't know it was a story. She didn't want to believe it was a story.
Mm.
right.
There were multiple signs.
But that's like saying that people that fall for telephone scams, then
No, it's
there
not.
must be something wrong with them because they fell for
No,
this scam.
No, there's no. If it was one time, sure. This is 13 years.
Yeah,
Right.
they've developed
they never met.
not in person. No,
They never met visually. They never met
only
got s-
pictures.
of somebody.
Mhm.
Right.
So she believed in a fictitious person. If an adult was walking around, cover your ears, kids, that they believed in Santa, you would say they are
Crazy.
crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
So why is this different?
Because
love.
it's her. It's definitely. I mean, there is something there, but I do feel bad because maybe she was just very lonely at the time.
Sure.
That's kind
and,
of what I
you
was
know,
thinking.
Sure, all those things might be
and
true.
desperate.
All those things might be true, but it was not love.
Mhm.
Love is a two-way street,
Mhm.
right? There's no way the other person could have given love back. Maybe given affirmation, but could not have given love.
And it's her own family member. Assuming that they're close, she probably knows how to talk to her, what she likes, things like that, and really got into her mentally.
I was thinking if you were single again, God forbid, knock on wood, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
If you were single again and you were, how long do you think you would let it go? of not seeing somebody? Forget the signs that maybe you would or would not see. How many times would you keep communication going with someone, much less say you're in love with them and never meet them face to face?
Ooh, I think if I like starting an online conversation with someone, I would say 2 weeks. I would want to know see them in person.
Gimpy?
I was going to say about 30 days because anything could happen, especially if they, quote, live on the other side of the country. You met them online. So, I mean, traveling isn't easy for everybody. Okay.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. So I say like 30 days goes by. And if you haven't made the effort or the other person hasn't made the effort to like, let's get together and actually meet in person.
Yeah.
Then adios, bitches. I'm out of here.
7 days.
7 days, huh?
7 days. We can FaceTime.
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
you
Zoom.
Skype.
Modern
Skype.
technology.
I'm just saying, right? I think
Yeah.
you're right. Like in traditional ways, like actual face to face, we could do FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know about y'all, but I want to be in a relationship where I'm kind of important.
Right.
I like to come secondhand.
Whatever. You're getting married. That's going to have to end.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Remember the lady that was on 90 Day Fiance and she was selling her farts?
Yeah.
And she's making $50,000 a week
Off of gas.
of farting. She had some sort of gastronomical emergency, had to go to the hospital, seek treatment, and is now retired from farting in jars. She was receiving so much gastric pains that she thought she was suffering from a heart attack, had to call an ambulance. Ambulance came and got all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And after tests and EKGs and all that, they were like, no, you just got to fart.
But I've been
Really?
farting in jars all the time.
Well, she was taking, to try and keep up with the man, she was doing all these things to try and trick her body into farting.
Okay.
From eating fibrous foods to anybody who's ever taken a protein shake knows how that works. And she was doing so much, her body couldn't keep up. And that they encouraged, she had to take Beano and all these things. And she's like, so that chapter's over. So if there's ever a question, can you fart too much? The answer is yes.
That makes perfectly good sense.
So stay off of beans. Too many beans.
I mean, too much protein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too much protein and gas pains not do the body good.
What makes you the gassiest when you eat it?
Probably steak, like beef.
Really?
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Broccoli is what does it for me.
For me too. Broccoli.
Yeah.
Always broccoli.
Broccoli for sure, but beef, the worst.
I usually don't have a lot of gas when it comes to eating, the meats.
I don't think I do either. I think it's more of I got to go to the bathroom and I got to go to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, that's true.
When I eat the beef.
Dude, no joke. Over the break, I don't know if there was like a tummy thing going around my house or what, but I was taking the trash out to the curb and I was like, oh, I got to go like right now.
Right.
And I bet if I check my cameras, I'm literally like, I mean, I've had like what I thought were close calls.
Right.
But it'd been a minute since I had an accident in my pants.
Right.
You were like Flash.
And so I was walking and I was like, you know how you walk faster?
Oh, right.
You're puckered?
Yes.
So you're like, oh gosh.
Right.
But I literally was like puckered and like, this is not working.
Right. One slight move and it's donezo.
It was like that scene in the movies where the dam is cracking.
Right. It starts.
Yeah. You need some gum chewed up.
Right. Stick your finger in the hole, something like that.
No, but yeah.
Well, stop the leak, you stick your finger in the dike, right? That's how that works.
It was like I don't like that. It's like the worst possible experience I've had in a while. I was like, damn.
Wow.
And earlier, my poor kids had been having tummy issues, and they had a couple of situations. Coming up, we got best and worst of the weekend. Those tickets for Metallica, but right now, news quickies.
It's time for News Quickies, world news, local news, and news that just makes you say, what the Now here's Corbin, Gimpy, and Lindsay with what's going on. News Quickies from the Big 9 Morning Show at 97.5 KMOD.
Mississippi golfer bites off other man's nose in feud over game. So 51-year-old Mark Wells of Biloxi, Mississippi, he's accused of getting into an altercation with his playing partner after a round of golf. and then going on to bite off the other man's nose in a casino parking lot later in the day. He was charged with felony mayhem. He walked out of jail within an hour of booking after paying 10% of his $50,000 bond. Now, according to the station that reported the incident, the nose was not found at the scene. The victim was taken to the hospital. And according to the Biloxi Sun-Herald, Mark Wells, he faces up to 7 years in prison if convicted of the felony, which state law defines as a premeditated crime committed with the intent to kill, in which the suspect mutilates, disfigures, disables, or destroys someone's tongue, eye, lip, nose, limb, or any other body part.
I want to know what happened. What caused this?
Right.
What happened?
Somebody
Did they
was cheating.
cheat?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
And they were partners. Like that. They were
Okay, so he didn't
playing
carry his
partners.
weight?
Right.
Right.
That's probably could be.
I don't get it.
Mm.
I don't get it. There had to have been something else.
Like maybe he ruined his 9-iron.
Found
No.
out he was banging his wife or something. I
Even that, you're not eating the face.
don't know.
You may assault them, but
Right.
you're not going to bite their nose off.
Right. Well, unless there's alcohol involved, because on the course, people are drinking, and all right, it could get to a face-eating level.
Oof, I don't
know.
think so, dude.
Huh?
Yeah, that's just gross.
I mean, Mike Tyson did it on an ear, and he wasn't even drunk.
They were boxing.
Mhm.
They were close to each other. Like
Yeah.
he was literally, his ear was just there.
Yeah, so my guess is they're up in each other's face. F you, no F you. Because they're like right there face to face.
That is a soy boy move, man.
Right? But whatever it takes to make, to win the fight.
You gotta have some strong teeth, bite through all that cartilage and tear off it.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
no,
no,
Lindsay.
no.
The nose, not until like almost 3/4 of the way up, you can actually feel there's no bone. There's nothing. Like you could get through it easy.
Right. You could bite the tip of somebody's nose off. No problem. Just right there. Just the top.
Yeah.
Just the tip, just to see how it feels. Yeah.
You easily could.
Yikes.
Man.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
do it. Man,
Got
it's
it.
store clerk over Karen comment. There's this gal. Her name's Genesis Sanchez Canales, and she works at the Dollar Tree. And she got in a bit of a verbal argument with the female customer over those little plastic grocery bags that make perfect trash liners for your bathroom trash can.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, so they're arguing back and forth, and then the customer goes ahead and whips out their old phone and starts recording the argument. And that's when old Genesis called the woman a Karen. Well, Karen's husband, Jason Allen Dobbins, he didn't really like that too much. So he hauls back and smacks the dog ass out of her. Open hand slaps the woman, just bam, right across the left side of her face. All right, well, now the cops are involved. Cops come out. They arrest the man. They question him. He's like, yes, there was an argument over the trash bags, but he didn't want to talk anymore about this whole Karen situation. I guess Karen just kind of sets him over the edge. Nonetheless, he went to jail for battery, but since he has a previous battery conviction, he's looking at felony battery for slapping the Dollar Tree worker.
Yeah, come on. They're just trying to work.
Exactly.
You get a little lip, so what?
Right.
You're gonna both be buried in the same dirt. Calm down.
Hey, don't be calling my wife no Karen, even if that is her real name.
Man poses as blonde woman, convinces police officer to hand over patrol car. A 23-year-old New Zealand man was so fascinated with police, he decided to catfish a police officer on a dating app. Besides the police officer, Tyler Toretta, 23 at the time, convinced 2 other individuals to buy him iPhones, a car, and even engage in sex with him. Toretta convinced the officer, after posing as a female officer, to hand over a squad car to help plant a listening device, stating she was part of an undercover unit. Toretta then posed as the colleague of the female officer to receive the car. Toretta had the car for over 4 hours and even convinced the victim to hand over the car a second time. The accused was easily bored as a reason to why he did it. He was sentenced to 3 years on 8 of the 11 charges that he was charged with. And this is totally a page right out of the Tinder Swindler. That it goes even more. Like he convinced people to buy him a car and have sex with him. It was the craziest thing. The psychology of this is like, do you just get a little power? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Maybe for you, it just is very easy to find people that trust you.
Right.
You may misinterpret that as you're good at it, but you really are finding people that are trustworthy people.
Yeah.
Right.
And
One
then
would say you're preying on the
Right.
weak-minded.
preying on the kind.
Yes.
I would maybe say a little differently, right? Like preying on the kind, you're just being kind.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, you're like, this is like a drug.
But as an officer, you'd think that like they would have the wherewithal to be like, I'm not going to go ahead and just hand over my police cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can be convincing.
True, but do you think there's like channels that you have to go through? At radio stations, some of them, you've got to like check things out, like equipment or whatever, like write down on a sheet. All right,
Yeah.
I took, this line out here, blah, 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 and date and initial it. I would like to think that they have the same sort of process at least a police station.
If I take my squad car home, and it's my car I drive all the time, even when I'm off duty, which happens, I ain't got to check it out.
True, then you're just dumb.
Oh, for sure. You
just
should
dumb,
not be
man.
doing it.
No.
And the officer, he testified as a victim in court at the sentencing and talked about how embarrassed and humiliated was, couldn't return to the police force.
As you should.
Yeah, you shouldn't be a police officer if you're living out your squad. And ballistic vests, by the way. There were other things he ended up loaning out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I imagine the car's chock full of stuff or whatever, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, all off social media. If you don't meet, I don't know why we got to say that. If you don't meet someone face to face, then they ain't real.
Exactly.
They just ain't.
Right.
All these people, you have all these friends you've never met in person on Facebook, whatever. Oh, I'm dating this girl we've never met. That ain't happening. That's fantasy land.
Right.
But you believe it. You're like, nope, we're dating. Nope, I have 400 friends.
Because it makes you feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I read that headline at first. I'm like, how did the cop not know it was a man?
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, like, why did you even go ahead and give it away? Why would you think that that's fine?
Yeah.
How lonely
That makes
is
no
this cop?
sense.
He would steal photos of another police officer who was online and use those as her.
Wow.
Ugh.
So, because there's some social media accounts of police officers that are smoke shows.
Oh, yeah. I see
Right?
on TikTok.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just hot. It just is. And this guy was like, derp, derp. Gee, 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 gee.
All
I'll
that
move a
for
couch for you.
Veg. Yeah.
Totally. There's one on Tinder. What the hell is it? The Chinese app.
TikTok.
TikTok.
Thank you. There's one that I can't get enough of right now, and it's this officer she's a police cop. Sorry, she's a dog cop. So she
Canine.
Yeah.
Units.
Yeah, exactly. And she does this thing where she can release. I didn't know that police officers who have canines do this, but she has a button she pushes and lets the dog out of the car when she wants.
Okay.
And so she will be like, all right, we're going to test to see how good he's doing. We're on break and I need to do this every so often. And so he's in the car. I'll push this button. He has to come find me. And so she'll walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk like far.
Right.
And then you're like, she shows the camera. She's like, you can't see the squad car. There's nothing around me in the woods. She pushes the button and you can kind of hear the car go tunk and it opens up. And then 2 seconds, the dog's like, right there.
That is cool.
I know.
That is cool.
So fascinating. I just get wrapped up in going through all the things that she does with this dog.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. All right. All these stories are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/BMMS69. We'll take a break and we'll be back.
Tulsa
Is correct. So far, we're tied 1-1. La Fusion, day spa or dispensary? La Fusion.
Corbin,
yes.
that is a dispensary.
Corbin, that is incorrect. La Fusion is a day spa. Poppies, day
Corbin.
spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That
yes.
is a day spa.
Yes, you are correct. Poppies is a day spa. 2-1 so far. Corbin's lead. OHG, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Tied
What'd
up.
you say?
OHG. That's all it is. These are all the ones. I just found them on Google.
Sure.
I just simply Googled day spa and then Googled dispensaries and then found a bunch of them that
Sure.
are really close.
I just
and
couldn't
could
hear.
be
I didn't hear
confused.
you because you were going so fast. I didn't hear you. I didn't know it was
I wonder
letters.
what that stands for.
I have no idea. Nonetheless, moving forward, 918 Elevate, day spa or dispensary. 918 Elevate.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Corbin's in the lead, 3-2. One Love Wellness, day spa.
Corbin.
You got to pick it up, Lindsay. Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, One Love Wellness is indeed a
Wow.
dispensary. Yes. Corbin killing it right now. Lotus Blossom,
Corbin.
day spa or dispensary. Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Ah, you are wrong, my friend.
You
Lotus-
might need to.
Lotus
Okay.
Blossom is a day spa. Go ahead, Google
I
it.
know there's a dispensary called Lotus.
There's one called Lotus Gold, not Lotus Blossom. See, and that's the fun part about this game because they can be
No, somatic,
they're
sure.
so close. All right, Indigo, day spa or dispensary? Lindsay.
That is a dispensary.
Indigo. Lindsay is a day
Yeah.
spa.
Oh,
So far, it's 4-2. Corbin's lead. Hand and Stone, day spa
Lindsay.
or dispensary? Lindsay.
Spa.
All right, Lindsay, you are correct on a comeback.
I've been there.
It's a 50-50 guess.
Right, of course. All right, Rosebuds, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
I'm going to go dispensary.
Lindsay would be correct. Rosebuds is a dispensary, tied up 4-4. Jade Wellness Center, day spa
Corbin.
or
Lindsay.
dispensary? Corbin.
That is a wellness, or that is a day spa.
Corbin. Jade Wellness Center is a dispensary. Still tied 4-4. Deluxe, day spa or
Corbin.
dispensary? Corbin.
That is a spa.
Corbin, you are incorrect. Deluxe is a dispensary. Nature's Kiss.
I think that's both, actually.
Who knows? This is just the
Yeah,
information that
who
was
cares if it's
given.
accurate?
Yeah. All right, Nature's Kiss, day spa or dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
That is correct, my friend. Corbin just made 5-4. Aqua Viva Oasis, day
Lindsay.
spa or dispensary? Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay is correct. All right, so we're tied up 5-5. Fig Medical, day spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, that is incorrect. Fig Medical is a day spa.
I was thinking because like sweets,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
like sometimes you know it smells like
You're
a fig.
thinking medical marijuana.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
All right. All right. Remember, this is for a big prize at the end of the
Sure.
at the end of the game here.
Sure.
You are going to love the prize that I have
Leftovers.
chosen for you.
Leftovers.
Right, it's a
Okay.
roach.
Right, right. right.
Bong
And not
water.
the one you smoke.
It's the crumbs.
Allura Apothecary, day
Lindsay.
spa or dispensary? Lindsay.
Dispensary.
Lindsay is incorrect. The
Yeah, it's a
Allura
spa.
Apothecary is a day spa. Lucky Garden, day spa or dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That's a dispensary.
Lucky Garden, Corbin is a day spa. So far, we got 6 to Corbin and 5 to Lindsay. The Health Center, day spa or
Oh,
dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
That is correct. You sound like you've been there before.
To me, the name was just so obvious. There's no
Right.
way you're going to call an actual spa that.
Right, the Health Center. Supreme Heights, day spa or
Corbin.
dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin would be correct. All right, so we're looking at 8-5, Lindsay.
Okay.
All right, we're down in the home stretch of this thing. All right. The Enchanted Cottage, day
Corbin.
spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin is incorrect. That is a day spa.
Why are people calling here asking if we have weed?
Got any specials on an ounce, man?
It's called Enchanted.
Wildflower, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
That is incorrect, Corbin. Wildflower is a day spa. All right, Clover Patch Tulsa, day spa or
Lindsay.
dispensary? Lindsay.
Dispensary.
Lindsay would be correct.
What's the score?
6-8, Corbin's
Okay.
lead. All right, the Merry Mind, day spa or
Lindsay.
dispensary? Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay. The Merry Mind is a dispensary. All right, the Relax Station, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a spa.
That is correct. Corbin is up 9-6. Path to Wellness, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dispensary.
Lindsay, Path to Wellness is a
Oh,
day
I'm
spa.
sorry. I thought you said packed.
Oh, yeah. Was that the
wellness.
problem?
No, I thought you said packed.
Sure, yes. Let me enunciate a little bit more, shall we? All right, let's see here. Heirloom, day spa or dispensary? Heirloom, day spa or dispensary?
Corbin. That's a dispensary.
Corbin, Heirloom is a day spa.
Mm.
You're still in the lead 9-6. He's okay. Tulsa Garden, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, day
Spa.
spa or dispensary? The Tulsa Garden is a day spa. Good job, Lindsay.
Score.
Looking at 9-7, Corbin's lead. Bella Roma Medical, day spa or dispensary? Corbin.
Dispensary.
Corbin, Bella Roma Medical is a day spa. Stonebrook, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Spa.
Yes, you are correct, Lindsay. We are now 9-8, neck and neck. Who is going to win, day spa or dispensary, and walk away with a big, big prize? Stone Age Meds, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a spa.
Corbin. The Stone Age Meds is a dispensary. Uptown Wellness, day spa or dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin.
That is a spa.
Corbin. Uptown Wellness is a dispensary.
Really?
We only got 2 left here.
Okay.
All right. So we got a chance to tie it and a breaker if we can do this. All right. Pura, day spa or
Corbin.
dispensary? Corbin.
Dispensary.
Corbin is correct. Pura is a dispensary, puts him with the win 10-8. I'll go ahead and give you the last one, see if you can guess it. Stonebrook, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay would have been correct, which wouldn't matter because it's 10-9. Corbin is the big winner. Congratulations, Corbin.
What'd I get?
You want to know what you got?
Yeah.
My friend, I tell you, you have won my leftover potatoes. That's right, Corbin. I had
Listen,
dinner last night.
I love it. That's awesome, man. I'm actually kind of hungry, so I think that's a fantastic
This is
gift.
perfect.
And you're not a horrible cook,
No.
so that's great. But, I just think it's just an honor to win, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to Lindsay. She put in a valiant effort.
Listen,
And,
Corbin,
I just appreciate the competitiveness. And, tell us about the unsung hero in your life. We want to do something nice for them. They do nice things for people all the time. We want to return it. We teamed up with US Cellular. All you need to do is go to the website that rocks KMOD.com, click on the contest page, and you'll see where the hero spot is. Fill out the information, put your name, and then tell us about the hero. And we'll do something nice for them. We've done the guy who'd been volunteering for 13 years with CASA. We took care of the woman who started a food bank in her community to help feed people. And the number of people she's fed, just her and her husband, impressive.
Yeah.
And so it's those type of people we want to do something nice for. Again, go to the website that rocks, KMOD.com. And I don't want to hear, I don't think my person deserves it. Let us decide.
Right.
Let us decide. Go to the website that rocks, KMOD.com, click on the contest page, and tell us whether the unsung hero in your life needs to be recognized. All brought to you by US Cellular. Hey, heroes.
You rock.
Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Two long winning streaks are still alive, while another is over in the NFL. The 49ers extended their winning streak to a league best 5 straight with a 33-17 victory over the Dolphins. That snapped Miami's 5-game winning streak. The Bengals knocked off the Chiefs 27-24 to run their winning streak to 4 in a row. It was a decent game. I had to text you though because the touchdown that your boy Patrick Mahomes made was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that jump man.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if that was
It was impressive.
It counted, but I don't know if it was in. I don't think it was. It looked like it was. It looks like it was coming down.
Yeah.
You got to tackle, boys. You got to tackle.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You got 4. First of all, Burrow and Chase are studs.
Mhm.
Studs.
Yeah.
So, but when you got 4 guys, Chiefs players, come on, man. You got to wrap up.
Yeah.
Got to do textbook tackling. It's easy to sit in my house and say what they did wrong. It's easy, but it's fine. It's fine. First time he's lost in November.
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes.
Like any November?
In November, December.
wow.
He hasn't lost in like November and December for like since the whole time he's been in the NFL.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they've never won. The Chiefs have never won in Cincinnati since 1984.
Huh. Cincinnati just brings it. Good for
Yeah.
them.
Every team has their kryptonite.
Yeah. There it is. KC is now tied with Buffalo atop the AFC at 9-3, but the Bills currently hold the tiebreaker for the top seed. Elsewhere, the Eagles and Cowboys both won their third straight games. Philly cruised past the Titans 35-10, while Dallas crushed the Colts 54-19.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
There is some talk that people were pissed that the Cowboys ran up the score. It's like, they're not kids.
Right.
Right.
This
What do you
isn't.
Did it
junior
hurt
high.
their feelings? What do you mean?
And early on, the Colts looked pretty good, right? In the beginning,
Yeah.
they scored first. And
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Scoring first means nothing.
it's true. It's true. But they looked good, right? In the beginning.
No, I don't think they did.
The Eagles hold the best record now in the NFL at 11-1, still 2 games ahead of the Cowboys.
The Cowboys dropped 33 points in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
tied for the second most points any team has scored in the fourth quarter of a game in NFL history.
Good for them. Good for them.
It's a fourth quarter
Maybe we
game.
stop
though.
laughing at them now.
Right.
We'll always laugh. 2 teams in the crowded NFC South will clash on Monday Night Football when the Buccaneers welcome the Saints to Tampa. The division-leading Buccaneers are coming off a 23-17 overtime loss to the Browns. Tom Brady threw for 246 yards and 2 touchdowns in the defeat, while Chris Godwin hauled in 12 catches for 110 yards and a score. Tampa has lost 4 of its last 6 games, but still leads the NFC South at 5-6. The Saints have lost 3 of 4 and are 4-8 overall. The knee injury that Lamar Jackson sustained in the Ravens' 10-9 win over the Broncos is not season-ending. He was injured on the last play of the first quarter when he was sacked from behind by Denver linebacker Jonathan Cooper. The 25-year-old quarterback will undergo more tests, and Baltimore coach John Harbaugh expects to know by Wednesday how long Jackson will be out. Tyler Huntley replaced Jackson in Sunday's win.
Keep in mind, this is the same thing that happened last year with the Ravens. They were in the hunt. They lost 5 in a row when he went injured. If you're going to be a running quarterback in the NFL, you're just going to get hurt. You just are.
Mm-hmm.
And he is definitely one of those guys. It is not sustainable.
Speaking of injury, the 49ers are losing another starting quarterback to a season-ending injury. San Francisco head coach Kyler Shanahan said that Jimmy Garoppolo broke his left foot in the Niners' 33-17 win over the Dolphins on Sunday. Garoppolo left the game early in the first quarter, didn't return to the game. He was replaced by rookie Brock Purdy, who threw for 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. San Francisco had already lost Trey Lance to a season-ending leg injury back in week 2.
These are the quarterback injuries that happened yesterday. Mahomes' foot. A lot of people didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Tua, ankle. Lamar, knee. Trevor Lawrence, ankle. Garoppolo, foot. There have been 53 different quarterback starts in the NFL this year. It's massive.
That
Wow.
doesn't seem right.
And and the Lamar Jackson thing, like that was somebody fell on him in the pocket.
Yeah.
That was not, he wasn't running the ball.
No. We'll see what happens. That's your
We will.
Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOUD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Great taste, 96 calories. More of the Big Man Morning Show is next.
Rode out the roller coaster.
What was her excuse on the 7th time?
His excuse was I was away from the house for 2 weeks on walk, and he got lonely.
So this is your boyfriend.
Yeah, it was my ex.
Yeah.
But when he said that, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I took the call around midnight when he was drunk, took the call, and I left and never looked back.
Had to rip that Band-Aid, huh?
I just left. I was done.
Wait, that was the 7th time.
Yeah. And then
And you
took the
came
call
back.
took the call back because I was like, oh, maybe you changed. And the 9th time was finally the draw.
For him I'm just being really honest. Him cheating 9 times, do you blame him or yourself?
I blame myself for being blinded by love.
But it wasn't.
Stupidity.
No, it wasn't, though.
No. Yeah, it was not my fault, but I mean, I kept going back,
No, it's
so
your fault. It wasn't love.
It was my own stupidity trying to think I can change someone.
Right. Hope. Well, it was
You can't
hope.
be
You were
changed.
hoping.
Mhm.
You were hoping he'd
Well,
live
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Brandon, have a great day, man.
You too.
All right. See you later.
These texts are good.
Scott is on. Hey, Scott, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, buddy. What do you think?
You know, let's be real. I love some of the comments, and you guys especially, but let's be real. You're not going to be able to give her a hall pass because we as men are never going to forget that. We're never going to stop dwelling on it. And, you know, and we're going to be the demise of that at that point. I think there's only one way to really do it. Either walk away because you can't tell me guilt took over after. You were enjoying it then. You went out for that purpose to go meet somebody. So either open this up to an open relationship, ask her, hey, do you want an open relationship, or walk away now, brother, because you lost it.
Let me ask you, Scott, what would be an argument they would have had that would have not justified him cheating, but going out and being completely reckless? Like what's something?
Well, she would have had to cheat. I mean, the only way I'm ever going to cheat is she walks to me and says she just cheated. I'm walking out. I'm going to get me some, and I'm done with this relationship.
But then, I mean, you're
I mean,
not
let's
really
be real
cheating
as
at that
men.
point, are you, Scott? You're not.
Well,
Mhm.
you know, until that divorce, I get it. But there's no hall pass or dinner or vacation. I agree with her vacation. That means she's not going to forget that. I don't care if 5 years down the road, that's going to be in every argument you have.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well either walk away or open this thing up and let's become swingers.
Just walk
Hey,
up to her
let's
with a
be real.
pineapple in hand.
Right on, man.
Upside down it, baby.
All right, Scott, have a great day, friend.
You too,
All
guys.
right, see you later.
Got a great idea to fix the situation.
I'm
Fruit.
I hear that like well, if she cheats, I'm going out right and cheating, and cheating right away. It's gonna be like the movie Hall Pass. I'm going to Applebee's and having wings and going to bed at 9. Like,
Yeah.
Right, because that's our routine now.
No,
That's where we're at.
no, I'm don't have the game. Like, what are you talking about? It's not like I'm turning down women every time I go out the door.
You go to the bar, you wait till about 1:45ish.
Oh,
You find the biggest woman with the least amount of teeth in her face, and you say, you're coming with me.
I gotta be honest. If I'm cheating as revenge, it ain't just gonna be on crumbs. Listener email, I'm about to get divorced from my wife of 10 years
Homeless
because
people eat out of garbage cans,
I
Corbin.
made a stupid mistake and had a one-night stand. We got in an argument. I left, went to the bar, and slept with some woman. Almost immediately, the guilt took over me. She's told me it's over. But I have to try. What can I do to get her or to give our marriage a second chance? Lindsay.
Okay, so he already did the most awful thing he could have done, and that was cheat. But he was honest. So he's got that going for him at least. And if he wants to work things out, he's going to have to take the blame and take whatever is coming to him. If she is pissed, let her be pissed and just take it. Take the anger and just wait it out and see what she wants to do. The ball is absolutely 100% in her court. So whatever she wants, she gets at this point. If you want to stay in this marriage, if she wants to go through therapy, then you guys are going to go to counseling together. If she wants just you to go to counseling, then you're going to have to go to counseling because the ball is absolutely 100% in her court.
Gimpy.
Yeah, man, there's really nothing you can do, honestly. Just sit back and take your lumps as they are. All right. If she wants it to work, she'll figure it out. She's gonna be mad AF for a long time. And you're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with being boring. There's not gonna be any time going out with the boys or going out doing what else, And if you can't handle that, then you need to walk away. You need to realize, well, I effed this one up. I'm just going to go ahead and take my ball and I'm going to go home and then I'll come back and play the game another day. You know what I'm saying? It's just, there's nothing really you can do. Just let time pass it on by. That's it.
I'm sorry. I have no gimmick for you that will work. You tell her you want it to work. You made a giant mistake and you're willing to work through it. She doesn't hear that. You got your answer. It's pretty black and white, man.
Yeah.
You have to eat your S sandwich. And when you go on and date in the future and be asked what happened with your marriage, you got to be honest. You essed the bed royally. And so either you tell her what you want and hope she appeases you, but why beg someone to be with you? I hear people all the time say that this isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It's not fair for me. It's not fair for what I want to do. I hear that all the time. And I'm going to tell you a story right now where you don't get to say that anymore.
Okay.
All right.
There is a country on this planet
Mhm.
where the government makes them have a quota of collecting their own feces
Why? Why is
for
that even-
fertilizer.
Okay.
And as quotas go, they tend to grow every year.
You haven't crapped enough this year.
And
You need to put out some more.
And it's such a problem, the quota and the unreachability for maybe you're not having enough fiber in your diet, that you end up stealing crap from your neighbors so you can meet your quota to the government.
What has this
Thou shalt not
world
steal
come
my
to?
neighbor's crap.
What's that, Gimpy?
So what does this world come to, man?
So when you talk about how unfair it is, just keep in mind, you're not having to steal your neighbor's crap, literally. I don't know what I would do. I got to keep. So like I do all the grocery shopping, right? I do the majority of cooking
Right.
because my schedule allows for that to happen.
Yeah.
So that means if the crap quota was a thing here, that would be on my list of things I got to take care of.
Absolutely. All right. So I got to go to the grocery store at 12:30. I've got a doctor's appointment and then pick up the dry cleaning. Oh, and I've got to take 4 craps today. Oh, big ones
Or-
too, because, I was light yesterday.
Hey, little Sally flushed.
Ye-
She can't be
Oh.
flushing.
Mm-hmm.
We are so close to this month's quota.
Yeah. You have to keep track of whenever anyone in your family goes poo. You got to collect it for your kids
What
and
do you-
your wife.
You want to guess what the average household quota a year is of crap
Oh,
in this country?
oof. I'm going. Go, Lindsay, go ahead.
Like pounds?
Yeah.
Billion pounds?
£1 billion in a household.
Good
Oh, in a
Lord.
household. I'll go.
That's
Let's
a lot
go
of
with-
duty.
Let's go with 100 pounds.
Okay. Gimpy.
I was going to say 50 pounds, I think is a good quota for your family to poop.
220 pounds a year in a household. Now, these are people that
Lord.
are able to do that, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So if you have somebody who's, they don't go, sorry,
So-
they're on a colostomy bag.
It's a sliding scale.
460 KMOD. You can also text BMMS and then what you want to say to 82945. Coming up, we got tickets to Metallica both nights when they play that show in August of 2023 down in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. The M72 World Tour will be making a stop down in Texas in August, and we have your tickets. We're going to get anyone who wins qualified for this gas card and 3-night stay in Arlington at a hotel. We're not just going to give you a tent. And so, but you got to be listening to play the game at 7:30 when we do that. Right now, it's best and worst of the week, and we want to know what's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend. You can call it 918-460-KMOD, or you can text it BMMS and what that is to 82945. What's the best and what's the worst of the weekend? Lindsay.
Best was finding out that my husband had Friday off of work,
Nice.
just like we had a Friday off. So it was a nice surprise to be able to spend an entire day with him. So we spent the day doing what every parent does when their kids are gone.
Have sex?
Yeah.
Ordering food in and staying in bed and watching TV. It was awesome. And just relaxing, chilling out. It was great. And then the
What'd you order?
what's that steak place that you go to, Gimpy?
Golden Corral?
No,
You're goddamn right.
no. Was it Lone Star
Roadhouse?
Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roadhouse. Yeah, Yeah, ordered up a fillet. It was delicious. I
Did
don't know.
you
I
throw
had
peanuts on your own floor.
Yeah, right. No, I wanted a
Not
potato.
peanuts.
And for some reason, that was the first place that popped up on DoorDash. So I was like, all right, cool.
Huh.
That's what we did. So it was delicious. And we rented a couple of movies that weren't very good. And it was nice though. Because we don't get ever have any time off except for Sundays. And of course, it's hunting season. So I don't see him a lot on the weekends at all. So it was a great day. Worst of the weekend, we went to Costco yesterday and
Yeah.
yeah.
To go to Costco on a Sunday,
Mhm.
2 weeks before Christmas,
Mhm.
feels like dumb.
Dude, spent more than my car payment at Costco yesterday.
Yikes.
That's the worst part. On just food, except for maybe 2 items that are, batteries. Had to buy bulk up on batteries because it's the holiday season. You can never have enough batteries, And I think I got this shirt. It was $10. $10. Can't eat this shirt, obviously, but the rest of it, yeah, more than a car payment on food items. Yeah.
It's a great color on you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. Best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend? I feel like we're about to hear something dramatically different. Gimpy, what's the best and what's the worst?
I spent all day eating out in bed too. No, Friday would be the best of the weekend. Heading out to Stillwater for the 4th annual Cowboy Cup, spending the afternoon out there. Dude, such an awesome adventure out there. I thought I was seeing things for a little while because, I was like, man, is this medicine getting to me or what? Because I think I see a llama, and they did legit had a llama. It was
brilliant.
It was a emotional support llama, is what it was, and had it in a T-shirt and everything out there. I was like, that's awesome. We need more of that. And I'm like, that's great, that they do that because everybody's just ripped out of their gourd, and it's like, do I really see a llama? Or it's like they need more things like that roaming around, just like oddball things where you're like, am I tripping? Or is that really, did a band of midgets just run through here? What's going on? Stuff like that. But man, it was so awesome, and the setup that they had, and all the vendors and the samples that were out there, and it's just a really, really good time.
Did you find out the name of?
No.
Oh. You did not?
So Gimpy had this one because he was a judge. And how many did you have? 25?
40 samples.
40 samples that he had to smoke and judge based off a bunch of different levels. And he found one he really fell in love with.
Yeah, it was a perfect 10. And I keep forgetting to ask the guy, hey, what is this and where can I get it? And I don't know
Hazard
why
of the
I
job.
keep forgetting. Yeah, but I got his number. I'll give him a call. I think it might be in an email somewhere. Who knows? But it's good. I just don't want to have to travel all the way to Oklahoma City to get it.
What's the coolest thing that you found that you like, and what's something you saw? You're like, oh, okay.
I think the coolest thing that I saw was, they had this steamroller out there. They had a couple of them. There's this one booth that had a couple of steamrollers, and had a
Tell everybody what a steamroller is for those who don't know.
A steamroller is basically a hollow tube, and you put your mouth on one end and you cover up the other end with your hand, and it's got your bowl or whatever it is that you light, and then it pushes all this smoke into your lungs. All right. So they had one, and it was like this hollowed out tube, cardboard tube, and those tubes had holes drilled in them, and this one tube had 12 pre-rolls, full size pre-rolls in it, just going to town, and here, hit this. And you hit that, and at least my first thought was, oh, that was a mistake. That was bad news. But so that was probably cool because they had a smaller one, and then a medium-sized one, and then one that was much bigger. And I went for the medium-sized one because, well, that's all that they had. And he's like, well, we got this one too. And he shows it to me, this massive contraption. I'm like, I'm not messing with that. I'm not messing with that at all. So
steamroll, because it rolls like a steamroll. It rolls through, but also because it knocks you on your ass, right?
Steamrolls you, yeah. So that's probably the coolest thing that I saw out there. Their VIP lounge was pretty groovy. You go in there, they had a live DJ spinning around, and all nice, comfy couches and bean bags to hang out in, and snacks and stuff like that. And I was like, this is like actually like legit the perfect VIP lounge for this event.
Right.
You know, they have Rice Krispie treats and little chocolates all over the place. And I was like, this is awesome.
You got to be careful going to a VIP lounge at an event like that, or else, because you don't know what you know what you're eating. It may say Rice Krispie treats, but you got to remember.
Is it infused?
Yeah, you're at an event where.
Luckily, they were
like
not.
that scene in Tulsa Kings where he's eating this jam and he's like, this is good.
And then he's just ripped out of his gourd after that.
Yeah, and they're like, of course. You're at a weed farm, man. What'd you expect?
Worst part of the weekend, went out karaoke on Saturday night, and I guess at some point in time, I lost my motorcycle keys. I don't know. I mean, I had them in my pocket, my inside pocket of my cut, and there's a little bit of a place where they could potentially fall out, but normally they don't. And I go and I'm looking in my pockets for like cigarettes or light or something yesterday. And I said, where's my keys? I couldn't find my keys anywhere. Still haven't found them. Lucky for me, I've got extra sets, so it's not a big deal. But I gotta call Grumpy's and be like, hey, did y'all just happen to find a set of motorcycle keys on the floor? Something to that effect.
One of those, man.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
You're getting old. Got to get an air tag for your.
I can't. Can you use air tags?
You can.
For Samsung?
This is the Apple brand, but there is
they have other ones.
They're called
that?
Tile. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can put it on your keys.
I have to
so you can find them
for sure.
It helps more often than not, dude.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I didn't know where I was like, well, luckily they gave me like 3 extra sets with extra fobs and everything. So like, all right, cool. Now I got it in a pocket that doesn't have a hole in it and won't fall out. So
yeah. What do you think about getting that hole fixed?
Well, it's part of it. It's part of the pocket is what it is. It's like you got your pocket, you got like 2 snaps on it. And then at the very bottom, there's just enough gap. And typically I'll lose like my pen or a Sharpie or something to that effect that's in my pocket. And that's usually all that falls out.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing. So I just relocated a different pocket.
I am not a shirt designer, nor have I ever been a shirt designer, but it feels like it might be kind of a flaw to have a hole in a pocket.
You would think, but it's just a gappage, whatever is what it is.
Best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened this weekend and the worst thing that happened this weekend? Best of the weekend for me was my wife was off Friday as well. So we got to hang out and took the kids to school and then went to eat some sushi. We destroyed some sushi.
Nice.
And went home, took a nap. It was awesome. It was awesome. And then the worst part of the weekend would have to be that the Chiefs lost. I didn't have a bad weekend, so I was pretty frustrated when they lost, and I typically don't get frustrated, but probably because the game was so close.
Yeah.
And some things that they made mistakes on, like at the end with Patrick Mahomes not throwing the ball to a guy who was open. But like, hey, it's easy to judge from sitting on the couch. Best and worst of the weekend. What's the best thing that happened? What's the worst thing that happened? 918-460-KMOD. Or you can text BMMS and whatever that is to 82945. Best, got some Christmas shopping done. Worst, had to help sister-in-law move. Also worst, I almost got decaf this morning. Workplace violence averted.
Nice.
Best of the weekend, I found out I'm off work all this week. Worst of the weekend, it's because of pneumonia.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, you and Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
For best and worst of the weekend, got to experience the Cowboy Cup for the first time. Thanks for the tickets, y'all. Worst of the weekend, I didn't go to both days of the Cowboy Cup. I just got to go Saturday. Still had a blast. I was higher than a bird vagina pretty much all weekend.
That's pretty high.
Is a bird vagina higher than a bird?
Well, I mean, technically it's lower because it's on the bottom half and towards the back of the bird. But I mean, in all the grand reality of things, I mean, it's up there.
Still pretty high.
Bird's vagina is pretty high.
Best of the weekend, the company I work for won 2 first place belt buckles at the Cowboy Cup. Those are the awards they give out. Dabbed Gimpy out at our tent.
Yeah.
And got to see my sister and nephew. Or did you? Worst.
It's like that llama.
Right.
Worst, work early Monday. Yeah, those are all reasons to not be excited. When when you went, did you see anybody that was not handling the fun very well?
No, everybody seemed to be handling it just fine. Seemed to be, but I mean, I guess if you're just sitting there, right? you can assume that they're baked and they're having a good time. I didn't see anybody barfing or, like when we had Daniel come in, and talk to us, Daniel Lewis, the proprietor of the Cowboy Cup. There's no problems. There's no violence. There's no issues. Everybody's just happy and ripped and just having a good old time. So I didn't see anybody out there that was like, oh, you look so sad. What's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You need a little cheering up here. Hit this. No, nothing like that.
There's something, speaking of weed, there's something that I found over the weekend that I was shocked by. And we'll see if you can. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. I think this is gonna freak you out. Tell me if you can tell me who the person singing is. Of course, I'm probably gonna have to go.
Wow, wow, wow.
They already gave it away, yo.
Affirmations are positive statements that help us to challenge and overcome when you're not feeling good and have negative thoughts. So repeat after me. Come on, everyone. There is no one better to be than myself.
There is no one better to be than myself.
Today is going to be
That's as bad as Ice Cube, isn't it?
Today's gonna be
Like selling out doing Disney movies.
My feelings matter.
my feelings.
This guy was charged with murder.
Right. Well, his feelings matter too, Corbin. He's still human.
Yeah. I mean, as somebody with 2 little kids, I love it.
Maybe that's how he's repaying his way back to society. It's like, all right, we understand your charge was, murder was the case. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to do motivational videos for children.
That's Snoop
There you
Dogg,
go.
by the way, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that was like a thing. I think he's genuinely that person.
I think he is too.
You're probably right. It's just not his image.
Yeah. Is it? It might be Shaq. I forget. Who's a believer in every business opportunity is a good one.
Oh, absolutely.
You hear it and you're like, that was. Why would you make a mistake? Do that.
Get your money,
Sure.
man. Get your money. I mean, if you can make money off of doing that, or endorsing Corona, or Martha. I think
Yeah,
him and
look at
Martha
him and
had like a
Martha
big
Stewart.
lighter thing going
Yeah.
on.
They
Or
do.
whatever. It's like, come on.
Cereal.
Yeah, cereal. Get your money, man. Get your paper. It's all good. And it is Shaq, man. That's why he's doing so many commercials. Gold Bond and the General and goddamn everything.
Go down
else
the
under
rabbit
sun.
hole of him being an entrepreneur. It's crazy.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money. He also gives away a lot of money too.
Yeah. He isn't just some basketball player.
Right.
Like he clearly has so many facets of him. But I saw this. My wife sent it to me, and she was like, "Look, it's Snoop Dogg. It's a little weird. Your feelings matter."
Oh, thanks, Snoop.
Gin and juice to apple juice. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's morning show is coming.
What did you find?
Is there one?
Fatu. It says foot fetish dating platform. Feet worship and femdom chat. Fetish sex dating, the online kink community.
Yeah, I mean,
there's. I was just looking for dating sites about foot fetishes.
I guess that'd be a subgenre of BDSM, right? So
yeah, sure. Footfetishdating.com. Click. Footfetishmatch.com. So they do have websites that will get down into it in certain aspects in certain areas. Giant schlongs or mega boob isn't one of them. But feet. Why?
Lindsay, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically they want to know, are any of them still single? I'm 5'2", 120 pounds, pleasant on the eyes, and very capable of intelligent conversation. For the record, if you write that in there, I know you're not. Just saying, because if you were, you'd say something intelligent.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lindsay? How do you find a well-endowed man or person?
I don't know.
Oh, your
I
poor
mean,
husband.
I would say I found mine. I'm not looking.
Too late.
Yeah.
All right. What's done is done.
So I would say maybe join a matchmaker. Ask a matchmaker to help you out. I feel like that would be something that would be on a matchmaking site.
Right, but don't you think there's room for fibbing on that?
Yeah,
You get to
definitely.
embellish a lot on those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Picture of you and a dog, and they're like, "Oh, where's your dog? I don't have a dog." Oh, there's a picture of you on your dating profile. Yeah.
About that. That was my friend's dog, and I
Yeah.
thought it would just,
It's a great picture of me.
bring you in.
They do say that people with dogs in their profile pictures
Totally.
get lots of hits.
You want to, if you're a single guy There are two ways to pick up women, in my opinion.
Mm.
A dog at a park.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a dog park. You will find probably a woman with a dog.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I hope so.
Offer
Yeah.
to pick up your friend's kids at school where you have to walk in.
Oh, yeah. Single mom, single dad.
Just saying. Right? That would be the way to do it. All right. But Lindsay, well endowed.
Yeah, I would say get on a match. Hire a matchmaker. Hire a matchmaker. I don't think you're ever going to just find someone well endowed unless you are looking on someone's OnlyFans page, maybe. I would say a guy that has some junk is going to start his own page if he's single.
Gimpy.
I don't know. I don't know where to start, and I don't want to know where to start. So my advice to this person is figure it out your damn self. All right? Go find somebody and ask them if they got a big schlonger. And if the answer's yes, then okay, well, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself, but then there you got your answer. But I don't know. I have never searched for a guy with a huge schlong. I have no desire to search for a guy with a huge schlong. Now I'm out. I have no advice for you.
If you asked me where to find information on molecular science, I wouldn't be able to help you. Nor am I a resource for this. I'm just making an assumption. You might be focusing on the wrong thing.
Eyes up here, lady.
Yeah.
Right? If your objective's just to get that, go to the bar and ask guys.
Absolutely.
They will gladly tell you. And be ready to call them out on it. Because every guy is going to say they're a horse. That the Jolly Green Giant ain't got nothing on them.
When I had first pierced mine way back when I was in high school, you know, you're proud of it. And I was talking to this gal, Amber, I think is what her name was. And I was telling her about it. Oh, yeah, penis is pierced, did it myself, blah, blah, blah. Now let's sit. Okay. So I had no choice but to present myself to her. Oh, it just goes to prove his point. You're going to have to be prepared for them to, you know, whip it out.
Yeah. You're going to have to be very assertive. Did you end up sleeping with her?
No, I didn't.
Interesting.
Why you say that?
I asked for the dessert tray. I'm getting dessert.
Not if it's ugly.
I don't know anything about that. Mind reading brain implant allows man to talk again. A 36-year-old patient who's being known as Pancho is the first person to try a mind-reading brain implant that lets him, quote, speak. He was paralyzed from the neck down by a stroke at the age of 20, and the device has allowed him to communicate at around 7 words per minute, despite only being able to move his eyes. After all that time, he did have something important to tell the researchers. They put the implant in. What do you think the first thing he said was?
Hello.
It's fantastic. I'm obviously asking because it's not hello.
Can I get a churro?
I'm hungry.
Not far off.
Uno cerveza, por favor.
I think they're just calling him Pancho. Not sure of his ethnicity.
Just saying. Why else would they call him Pancho?
This hospital food sucks.
Nice.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's speaking the truth.
He's like, if I could just tell him about the hospital food. Guys, I think it's working. He's about to say his first words. Everybody gather around. The hospital food sucks. Because it's a robot, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Somebody get him an In-N-Out.
Yeah.
All these stories are on our Facebook page at Facebook. Not I love you, not thank you,
Right.
not
This is incredible.
yeah, none of those things.
What's
Hey,
that
I've been
say
waiting
for-
16 years to say something. None of that.
What's it say about the hospital food if it's that bad? Like all that overshadowed by the hospital food.
I mean, you kind of want to go, hey, it's just one guy's opinion.
We all know.
But he's been in the hospital 16 years. He's been like, oh, God, if I ever get the chance to talk again, this is
Man who killed Kevin Bacon charged with first-degree murder.
You mean 5th degree?
6th degree?
6th degree?
Yeah. So this happened in Michigan. A judge has decided that Mark Latunsky will face a charge of first-degree murder after a degree hearing. The murder degree hearing for Mark Latunsky continued for a second day. This happened last Wednesday. He admitted to killing and mutilating Kevin Bacon, who is 25 years old. In court, he accepted a plea into open murder. The hearing was for the judge to determine if Mark will be sentenced for a charge of first degree or second degree murder, and the judge decided on the former. Back in 2019, Kevin Bacon, his body was found in Latunsky's home. He and Kevin Bacon met on a dating app, according to investigators. Kevin's body was hung upside down with a slit throat, according to police. Investigators also say that the man's testicles were removed and eaten.
This is a thing.
by
How many
Latunsky.
stories have we read about castrations?
Mhm.
Yeah. At least a small handful that I can think of. I didn't even mean to do that.
I know you didn't. I could tell just by the way you delivered it. Yeah. It feels like we've read, I mean, it happened here in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Some guy come down to meet two other guys, and they end up cutting his balls off or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it for fun, or are they, trying to prove a point? I don't get, because me personally, I would never chop my balls off for fun.
No.
Is it a Musa Muffin thing? Like you go for a little BDSM, just like tightening, and then there's some menacing people out there like, I'm just going to slice them off.
Right. Let's see how far we can take this train. Okay.
That doesn't,
Mm,
I cannot piece together these stories. This is one of the stories we do that I'm like, I don't get it.
right.
I don't get why it happens. I don't get the people that are up for it.
Yeah.
Not that this was a willing participant. We don't
Right,
know that
right,
part.
Right. The only thing that I can think of is obviously there's some kind of mental issue where the person whose balls are chopped off maybe has like a sex addiction or something to that effect, and they think that that's the only way they can get over it. The only way that they can cure themselves is to cut off that part of the
Castration.
body.
Okay.
Yeah. So therefore, they won't have that sexual desire anymore. Whether it's raping babies or
Like
just-
dogs.
Yeah, that too.
The idea that that's what you do to dogs, so they don't they don't want to hump.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is more of a Jeffrey Dahmer situation where the guy, they met on a dating app. The guy came over to the guy's house and they, he ended up tying this guy up.
Yeah, I'm not
And
buying
then-
that because then there would be more. This isn't. You know what I'm saying? You don't go. I understand there's a first time for everything, but
Right.
you're not going to be like, well, I think next time I'm willing to take a step further, get the skillet out.
Ooh.
Right?
I wonder
That's
if these
also
taste like.
it's also an important feature.
Mhm.
Did he cook them or did
Right.
he eat them raw?
right.
Because eating a heart of a deer is not an uncommon thing. Sometimes straight out of it, sometimes cooked.
Right. Even your Rocky Mountain oysters, bull balls, bull butter.
Mhm.
People eat those, but they don't eat them raw.
They don't eat them
No.
raw, right?
As far as I know, they don't. If you do, that makes you a little weird, and I don't think we should be friends anymore.
The
Yeah.
idea that these two crazy people found each other, if that's the case,
Mhm.
God, the universe is insane.
Imagine the life
No.
they could have had if he would not have died.
I think they had the life they imagined.
He just ended up dead and ballless.
I think again, we don't know the motive of the other person from the story,
Yeah.
but that sounds like that was the motive of this guy. He literally was like, whatever you want to do, judge.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Apparently, and I dug into this guy a little bit. He had a master's degree. Like he was
Oh,
pretty,
yeah.
he was
The Unabomber
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
master's.
there-
He was, come on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True. Yeah.
Did you get that online nowadays?
Sentencing for him will be held on December 15th.
I saw a thing yesterday online. I don't know if it's true, but you know how they caught the Unabomber?
Mm.
They caught the Unabomber. He was such an elitist. Like he thought he was so much better than everybody else. He couldn't stand the phrase, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
And because he's like, that makes no sense. He was like, you can't have your cake and then enjoy it like some other phrase.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so he wrote this manifesto that got printed in the paper.
Mhm.
And his sister-in-law, who always thought he was a little off his rocker, was like, I think this is your brother went to her husband and he looked at it and was like, I don't think so. And then read the line that his brother was one of the only people who ever said, you can't have your cake and then enjoy it as well.
Right.
Oh.
It's like,
And that's how they got him.
Wow.
Ooh, damn it. Ted Kaczynski. Man busted for beating.
Also, he was one of the people that did. And we're going to go ahead and play a game. We're going to play the 1 second game. 1 second of a famous television show's theme song. If you guess it correctly, you're going to get a pair of tickets, a pair, to go to Metallica's world tour down in Arlington. You're like, what is Corbin talking about? So you're going to get tickets for Friday night and Sunday night, a pair to each of those, because they're playing 2 nights, 2 separate set lists, 2 separate openers. I think one night is the Pantera lineup. The second is the Five Finger Death Punch lineup. I think some video got released also this weekend of the Pantera.
Yeah, I've seen it on the
lineup.
Facebooks, yeah.
So we'll also get you qualified for an upgrade, $150 in gas and a 3-night stay in Arlington. We'll draw that on Wednesday, but you got to win, and you got to win this game, which is the 1 second game. 1 second of a famous television show's theme song. If you guess it correctly, you're hooked. You're done. Boom, set up. You're going to be seeing Metallica on their world tour. I'm not saying they're done. I have no idea. But as they are getting older, there is a chance. There's no way they can replace a couple of these members, right?
No chance.
You're not replacing Hetfield.
You're not replacing Lars.
And you're not replacing Lars, right? As they get older, now I'm Kiss, these unicorns, sure.
Right, Stones, whatever.
You never know. Could this be the last tour from Metallica? That's why they're going back out. He's 58. Not old.
They all got children, don't they?
Yeah.
They could have grandchildren by now,
right,
man.
Right. I want your life, Grandpa.
So I think it's just, hey, this may be it. But 1 second, famous television show's theme song. If you guess it correctly, you're getting the hookup. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Steve.
Steve, how are you today?
All right. How are you?
I'm good, man. So 1 second, famous television show's theme song. If you guess it correctly, you're getting those tickets. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Here is your clue. I'll play it again. What is it?
Oh, Yellowstone.
Yellowstone is your guess, and that is, of course, incorrect. Thanks so much, Steve. Have a good day. Bye.
Yep.
Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name? Good morning. You're on the... Okay. Don't worry about it. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name? Brian, how are you today?
All right, good.
Good. Are you busy? It seems very loud what you're doing. Okay. 1 second, famous television show's theme song. You guessed correctly. You're getting tickets. Are you ready, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Here it is. What television show is that?
Ooh.
Let me play it again.
That 70s show?
Oh, that 70s show is incorrect. I'm sorry, Brian. Have a good day, man.
Thank you.
See you later. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Ryan.
Ryan, how are you, friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. Here is the clue. What television show is that?
Is that Hawaii 5-0?
Hawaii 5-0? Incorrect, man. Ryan, have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Hey, it's Ricky.
Hey, Ricky. How are you, man?
Good, man. Monday.
All right, buddy. Here is your clue. Ricky, what television show is that?
Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon. It is not, Ricky. Have a good day, friend.
Thanks, man. You too.
I made this intentionally tough, right? Because this is a big deal. These tickets to see Metallica for 2 concerts? Come on now. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
Marcus.
Marcus, how are you?
Doing good.
Good, Marcus. Here's your clue. What is it?
Designing women.
Designing women. That's going to pay off one of these days. All right, man. Sorry. Have a good day.
All right.
See you later. Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name?
This is Brandon.
Brandon, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, buddy. Here is the clue. What television show is that?
I'm going to say Magnum PI.
Magnum PI is incorrect, Brandon. Have a good day.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the air. What is your name? Thomas, how are you? Tom, how are you?
Doing good.
Good. Here is your clue. What television show is that, Tom?
Dallas.
Dallas is your guess. It is Congratulations, man. You're going to see Metallica 2 nights.
All right.
Congratulations, dude. Hang on the line, okay?
I will.
Don't go anywhere. I mean, the guy that guessed Yellowstone, not far off, but
No.
not accurate. I remember as a kid, my mom loved the show, of course. And the mini page, if you know what that is, would be in the Friday newspaper. And she would watch Dallas, and I would sit there and do the mini page. The mini page was this collection of connect the dots and word searches and mazes and whatever little
Games
kid
and puzzles and such,
yeah. And so that I will always think of the mini page when I think of Dallas.
All right then.
Nice.
Yeah. Are you caught up on Yellowstone?
I am. I watched last night. Have you watched last night?
I have not watched last night.
Man, it was a night of fights. A night of fighting and cowboy stuff.
I am annoyed with Beth. Annoyed.
Why?
It's just, at first you were like, okay, but now she's a part of everything? Like,
well, yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. She, who cares if I spoil it? Get over it. So they're going out on a 2-day run cattle drive, right?
Right.
And they got everybody involved.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. They're bringing in, day workers and stuff like that to get all this done. And Beth is like, where you going? Talking to Rip or whatever. And then
that's part of, that's my point.
Right.
Like, she doesn't know.
Right.
She grew up on the ranch with Rip her whole life.
Yeah.
She knows it's a big deal. They talk about it I hate her.
Well, she wants to go with, but she doesn't want to say she wants to go with. She wants Rip to ask her to go. It was a big, cheesy, gay-ass scene, but, it was kind of funny the way that he went about it and whatnots. But, so she whoops the dog ass out of that hippie that moved in. I thought it was great.
Yeah, we knew that. Piper Beer Boot, yeah.
Yeah, they're sitting around, they're eating dinner or whatnot, trying to, and, the hippie's a vegan or whatnot, so they serve up all this meat, a couple of doves, some other meats like that, and she's all, deer was another one of them, and she's all just giving the cook, the chef, he's just trying to do his job. He's just trying to feed them what they know to eat or whatnots, and wasn't expecting her, and she's just giving them the business. And so Beth downs this whole buttload of vodka before she even gets to the table, and she's like, all right, let's take a walk. So they go outside, and they end up duking it out, and Rip's like, I'm kind of worried about him, sir, talking to John or whatnots, and he's like, well, you probably should be, but it's okay, whatever. Anyhow, so he goes outside, and remember back when Lloyd and Ryan Bingham's character had to duke it out because they were fighting over that girl or whatever, and they're like, listen, just sit here and beat the crap out of each other until one of you gets tired. And that's what they did. That's what those two did, and they just duked it out until one of them got tired, and, well, Beth was not the one that got tired. But there was a couple other fights.
She eats her protein.
Well, yeah.
Right, sure.
It was a good episode. I was quite pleased with it.
Right on. All right. We're going to give away. I'm sorry. We want to hook up another unsung hero. We want to know who the unsung hero in your life is. What you need to do is go to the contest page at KMOD.com. US Cellular is helping us out. We want to recognize someone who's done something good in your community, whatever that is. We've talked to someone who's created a food bank, someone who's been a volunteer for 13 years, putting other people before themselves. And we want to know from you, who's that person? Contest page at KMOD.com. Hey, heroes.
You rock.
We got to take a break, and we'll be back.
The Big Mad Morning Show returns next. Tulsa's Morning Show.
The person that got catfish?
Yes.
I was going to pit him more
How
on
many-
the catfisher.
For sure.
Mhm.
That's obvious. But we're like, oh, poor her. What do you mean, poor her?
I
She
think
had
it's-
how many signs?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's very true.
How common is it to fall in love with someone on the other side of the globe?
I mean,
Right? There was so many signs, but she yet still believed, and she believed and fell in love with someone. She didn't fall in love with someone. She fell in love with a story.
Okay.
She didn't know it was a story. She didn't want to believe it was a story.
right.
There were multiple signs.
But that's like saying that people that fall for telephone scams, then
No, it's
there
not.
must be something wrong with them because they fell
No.
for this scam.
No, there's no. If it was one time, sure. This is 13 years.
Yeah.
Right.
They've developed
They never met.
not in person, no.
They never met visually. They never met
Only
got
pictures.
of somebody.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
So she believed in a fictitious person. If an adult was walking around, cover your ears, kids, that they believed in Santa, you would say they are
Crazy.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this different?
Because it's her. It's definitely. I mean, there is something there, but I do feel bad because maybe she was just very lonely at the time.
Sure.
And you know,
sure, all those things might be
and
true.
desperate.
All those things might be true, but it was not love. Love is a two-way street, right? There's no way the other person could have given love back. Maybe given affirmation, but could not have given love.
And it's her own family member. Assuming that they're close, she probably knows how to talk to her, what she likes, things like that, and really got into her mentally.
I was thinking, if you were single again, God forbid, knock on wood, blah blah blah.
Right.
If you were single again and you were how long do you think you would let it go of not seeing somebody? Forget the signs that maybe you would or would not see. How many times would you keep communication going with someone, much less say you were in love with them and never meet them face to face?
I think if I like starting an online conversation with someone, I would say 2 weeks. I would want to know see them in person.
Gimpy?
I was going to say about 30 days because anything can happen, especially if they, quote, live on the other side of the country. You know, you met them online. So, I mean, traveling isn't easy for everybody. Okay.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. So I say like 30 days goes by. And if you haven't made the effort or the other person hasn't made the effort to like, let's get together and actually meet in person.
Yeah.
Then adios, bitches. I'm out of here.
7 days.
7 days, huh?
7 days. We can FaceTime.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can Zoom.
Skype.
Modern
Skype.
technology.
I'm just saying, right? I think
Yeah.
you're right. Like in traditional ways, like actual face-to-face, we could do FaceTime.
Yes.
And I don't know about y'all, but I want to be in a relationship where I'm kind of important.
Right.
I like to come secondhand.
Whatever. You're getting married. That's going to have to end.
Yeah, right.
Remember the lady that was on 90 Day Fiance and she was selling her farts?
Yeah.
And she's making $50,000 a week.
Off of gas.
Of farting. She had some sort of gastronomical emergency, had to go to the hospital, seek treatment, and is now retired from farting in jars. She was receiving so much gastric pains that she thought she was suffering from a heart attack, had to call an ambulance. Ambulance came and got all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And after tests and EKGs and all that, they were like, no, you just got to fart.
But I've been
Really?
farting in jars all the time.
Yeah. Well, she was taking, to try and keep up with demand, she was doing all these things to try and trick her body into farting.
Okay.
From eating fibrous foods to anybody who's ever taken a protein shake knows how that works. And she was doing so much, her body couldn't keep up. And that they encouraged, she had to take Beano and all these things. And she's like, so that chapter's over. So if there's ever a question, can you fart too much? The answer is yes.
That makes perfectly good sense.
So stay off of beans. Too many beans.
I mean, too much protein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too much protein and gas pains not do the body good.
What makes you the gassiest when you eat it?
Probably steak, like beef.
Really?
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Broccoli is what does it for me.
For me too. Broccoli.
Yeah.
Always broccoli.
Broccoli for sure, but beef, the worst.
I usually don't have a lot of gas when it comes to eating, the meats.
I don't think I do either. I think it's more of I got to go to the bathroom and I got to go to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, that's true.
When I eat the beef.
Dude, no joke. Over the break, I don't know if there was like a tummy thing going around my house or what, but I was taking the trash out to the curb and I was like, oh, I got to go like right now.
Right.
And I bet if I check my cameras, I'm literally like, I mean, I've had like what I thought were close calls.
Right.
But it'd been a minute since I had an accident in my pants.
Right.
You were like Flash.
And so I was walking and I was like, you know how you walk faster?
Oh, right.
You're puckered?
Yes.
So you're like, oh gosh.
Right.
But I literally was like puckered and like, this is not working.
Right. One slight move and it's donezo.
It was like that scene in the movies where the dam is cracking.
Right. It starts.
Yeah.
I
You
get
need you need some gum chewed up.
Right. Stick your finger in the hole, something like that.
No, but yeah.
Well, stop the leak, you stick your finger in the dike, right? That's how that works.
It was like I don't like that. This is like the worst possible experience I've had in a while. I was like,
Wow.
damn.
Wow.
And earlier, my poor kids had been having tummy issues, and they had a couple of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, come on. You got to be able to read that better. And here I am, walking down my driveway like, oh God. And you try to run, but you can't because that shakes it up.
Absolutely.
Creates a little
So did you make it in time?
barely.
Did you turn the fan on?
I didn't touch porcelain.
Wow.
Right. I've been there before.
I didn't touch porcelain.
Wow.
Sometimes I turn the fan on. It's the bathroom.
Right? It's your bathroom.
But you didn't shut the door.
I shut the door when I leave. Keep it in that area.
Mhm, yes.
You stay in here. I'm going to go. Gross.
Listen, y'all don't want to wear masks. I don't know what you're worried about fart molecules in the air.
Right.
Oh, now masks work? Oh, okay.
Right. There's only two ways that you can pass a whiz quiz without using some kind of illegal substance. And that is one.
Broccoli?
No.
Oh.
Just naturally stopping.
About divorce or custody or guardianship, you can get your question to us ahead of time if you'd like. The email address is show@kmod.com, or you can text BMMS and whatever that question is to 82945. Right now, though, we got to see what is in Gimpy's 4x4.
Well, Corbin says here that Iran AG signals potential abolishing of the morality police. He was quoted by local media that the morality police has nothing to do with the judiciary. The attorney general does not oversee the morality police, and it was unclear if it's gone for good or would return in some different form. Iran's interior ministry has not commented on the report. The official comments come as protests continue to rock Iran following the death of 22-year-old Masamini. It says here that the Supreme Court's to debate business services with regards to same-sex weddings. Lori Smith is a Colorado designer and wants to decline to create wedding websites for same-sex couples because those marriages are in conflict with her religious beliefs. However, state officials say that Colorado's Anti-Discrimination Act goes for all businesses, making it illegal to refuse public services based on disability, race, creed, color, sex, sexual orientation, marital status, national origin, or ancestry. The state says that its law is about equal access and doesn't suppress any messages Smith's business might express. A ruling is expected by June of 2023.
I think the problem I have with this is that you don't want to create let's use the example of the cake. You don't want to create a cake because you don't believe in homosexuality.
Right.
But yet you're not going to be caring who's fixing your road, putting out your fire, coming to save you.
Right. That doesn't.
Providing a service when your home gets destroyed by a flood or what. Right. You're not going to care what orientation they are then.
Right. Absolutely. But it's her business and she can run her business as she sees fit. It's
not necessarily.
Yeah, necessarily.
No, not necessarily. You can't tell. That's like having like a water fountain for blacks only. You can't do that.
Well, that is true when it comes to public stuff, but this is her personal business.
No,
her
restaurants.
Business.
Remember when restaurants had segregated entrances for black people and fountains and counter?
Absolutely.
You can't do that.
Absolutely. It's her business. And if she doesn't feel like she wants to make websites, that's what she does. She's a website designer for something that goes against her beliefs. It's her business. She could turn away anybody that she wants. Doesn't matter if, they're same-sex couples or she just doesn't like the shirt that they're wearing.
Except this is already established law.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the problem is because Colorado's like, no, we've had this act in here before. So, I mean, if you don't like it, Lori, move someplace else.
It's the same thing. You still have to treat American citizens like American citizens, right? You have to treat people per the Constitution. The Constitution has already established that you can't make like people sit at a different counter or not serve blacks or whatever. You can't do that.
Right. Hey, FTX CEO admits that he screwed up. Samuel Bankman-Fried seemed to take full responsibility of the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange last month And he also admitted that he was, quote, spread thin sometimes and thought that there were, quote, processes in place. Yup. That were managing the borrowing and lending of the platform. His statements come as FTX is working through a bankruptcy process, and regulators are looking into the company's lack of oversight that saw the loss of more than $30 billion in a matter of weeks. And lastly, here, there's a bill filed to prohibit gender transition procedures from being provided to those under 21. The bill would prohibit healthcare professionals from attempting or performing gender transition procedures to anyone under 21. They would also be prohibited from referring people under the age of 21 to any healthcare professional for gender transition procedures.
Why 21? 18?
Yeah, isn't that the...
Sure.
You're legally an adult at 18.
Aren't you legally an adult to make those type of decisions at 18?
Well, you can at least fight for your country at that point in time.
And vote.
Yeah.
And vote. You can't buy cigarettes, you can't buy alcohol, and apparently you can't lop your dong off. If that's what you choose to do.
The college football playoff semifinals are set after the final rankings of the season were released on Sunday. Georgia is still number 1, followed by Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. The Buckeyes grabbed the final playoff spot after previous number 4, USC, lost to Utah in the Pac-12 championship. TCU remained third despite its loss to Kansas State in the Big 12 title game. Georgia will take on Ohio State in the semifinals while Michigan meets TCU. USC could be without its starting quarterback for the Cotton Bowl. Head coach Lincoln Riley said Sunday that Caleb Williams had a significant hamstring injury and that the team hopes to have him available for the bowl game. Williams suffered the injury in the first quarter of the Pac-12 championship game, but played through the injury and stayed in the game. The Trojans are set to face Tulane in the Cotton Bowl on January 2nd.
It was brutal to watch. There was almost 2 different mindsets. One was like, oh, look at him. He's tough. And the other one is, dude, you're potentially jeopardizing playing in the championship bowls or even the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? And Lincoln Riley was asked, why didn't you take him out? And he said he wouldn't let me. Huh? Who's in charge?
Friday saw another milestone for LeBron James while the Lakers were building up to a 133-129 win over Milwaukee. James was able to surpass Magic Johnson on the NBA all-time assists list. Johnson's mark was 10,141, and now James is behind the top 5 of Mark Jackson with 10,334, Steve Nash, 10,335, Chris Paul, 11,071, Jason Kidd, 12,091, and John Stockton with 15,806. Late last week, an arrest warrant was served to Antonio Brown. According to reports, the domestic violence assault complaint says that Antonio Brown locked the mother of their 4 kids out of her Tampa house, tossed out her belongings, threatened to shoot her, and throw a shoe at her. For the bonus round, he allegedly refused to exit the house once the Tampa Police Department arrived on the scene. Reports say he has yet to be arrested, but there's no ongoing standoff, as some have reported. Multiple attempts to take Brown into custody have been unsuccessful, but police don't want to risk officer safety over a misdemeanor charge.
This happens all the time in domestics.
Mm-hmm.
Come out or we're coming in.
Right.
I guess because the violence is what he locked her out.
Yes.
And he threw a shoe. So the shoe is a little squishy. That's a little, right?
Yeah.
I was throwing her clothes out and the shoe hit her.
And the shoe hit her.
Then that's not, it is assault for sure, but it's not the same as,
beating her with a stick.
Beating her with a shoe.
But threatened to shoot her.
Yes, I mean there's some squishiness on that too, right? Like if he did that, then it's he said, she said.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's not as cut and dry as he hit her or threatened to kill her and she's inside in danger.
True.
Whew. And that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Dude's crazy. He's lost his marbles for sure. And that is your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay on 97.5 KMOUD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original light. All right, we're going to take it up from the top here. Euphoria. Corbin, yes.
That's a spa.
Euphoria is a dispensary.
No points for anybody on that one. All right. Nirvana, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin would be correct.
Come on, Lindsay.
You got to get in the game, woman. Get in the game. All right. Omni Oasis, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Day spa.
Day spa is correct. So far, we're tied 1-1. La Fusion, day spa or dispensary? La Fusion.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, that is incorrect. La Fusion is a day spa. Poppies, day
Corbin.
spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That
yes.
is a day spa.
Yes, you are correct. Poppies is a day spa. 2-1 so far. Corbin's lead. OHG, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dispensary.
That is correct.
What'd you say?
OHG. That's all it is. These are all the ones. I just found them on Google.
Sure.
I just simply Googled day spa and then Googled dispensaries and then found a bunch of them that
Sure.
are really close.
I just
They
couldn't
could be
hear. I didn't
confused.
hear you
Yeah.
because you were going so fast. I didn't hear you. I didn't know it was
I wonder
letters.
what that stands for.
I have no idea. Nonetheless, moving forward, 918 Elevate, day spa or dispensary? 918 Elevate.
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
Dispensary.
That is correct. Corbin's in the lead, 3-2. One Love Wellness, day spa.
Corbin.
You got to pick it up, Lindsay. Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, One Love Wellness is indeed a
Wow.
dispensary. Yes. Corbin killing it right now. Lotus Blossom,
Corbin.
day spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
You are wrong, my friend.
You
Lotus-
might need to.
Lotus
Okay.
Blossom is a day spa. Go ahead, Google
I
it.
know there's a dispensary called Lotus.
There's one called Lotus Gold, not Lotus Blossom. See, and that's the fun part about this game because they can be
No, somatic,
they're
sure.
so close. All right, Indigo, day spa or dispensary? Lindsay.
That is a dispensary.
Indigo, Lindsay is a day
Yeah.
spa.
Oh,
So
bummer.
far, it's 4-2. Corbin's lead. Hand and Stone, day spa
Lindsay.
or dispensary? Lindsay.
Spa.
All right, Lindsay, you are correct on a comeback.
I've been
It's a-
there.
It's a 50-50 guess.
Right, of course. All right, Rosebuds, day spa or dispensary?
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
I'm going to go dispensary.
Lindsay would be correct. Rosebuds is a dispensary, tied up 4-4. Jade Wellness Center, day spa
Corbin.
or
Lindsay.
dispensary? Corbin.
That is a wellness, or that is a day spa.
Corbin. Jade Wellness Center is a dispensary. Still tied 4-4. Deluxe, day spa or
Corbin.
dispensary? Corbin.
That is a spa.
Corbin, you are incorrect. Deluxe is a dispensary. Nature's Kiss.
I think that's both, actually.
Who knows? This is just the information that
who
was
cares if it's
given.
accurate?
Yeah. All right, Nature's Kiss, day spa or dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
That is correct, my friend. Corbin just made 5-4. Aqua Viva Oasis, day
Lindsay.
spa or dispensary? Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay is correct. All right, so we're tied up 5-5. Fig Medical, day spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin, that is incorrect. Fig Medical is a day spa.
I was thinking because like sweets,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
like sometimes you know it smells like
You're
a fig.
thinking medical marijuana.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
All right. All right. Remember, this is for a big prize at the end of the
Sure.
at the end of the game here.
Sure.
You are going to love the prize that I have
Leftovers.
chosen for you.
Leftovers.
Right, it's a
Okay.
roach.
Right, right.
Bong
And not
water.
the one you smoke.
It's the crumbs.
Laura Apothecary, day
Lindsay.
spa or dispensary? Lindsay.
Dispensary.
Lindsay is incorrect. The
Yeah, it's a
Laura
spa.
Apothecary is a day spa. Lucky Garden, day spa or dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That's a dispensary.
Lucky Garden, Corbin is a day spa. So far, we got 6 to Corbin and 5 to Lindsay. The Health Center, day spa or
Oh,
dispensary?
Corbin.
Corbin, yes.
That is a dispensary.
That is correct. You sound like you've been there before.
To me, the name was just so obvious. There's no
Right.
way you're going to call an actual spa that.
Right, the Health Center. Supreme Heights, day spa or
Corbin.
dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin would be correct. All right, so we're looking at 8-5, Lindsay.
Okay.
All right, we're down in the home stretch of this thing. All right, the Enchanted Cottage, day
Corbin.
spa or dispensary? Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
Corbin is incorrect. That is a day spa.
Why are people calling here asking if we have weed?
Got any specials on an ounce, man?
It's called Enchanted.
Wildflower Day Spa
Corbin.
or
Lindsay.
dispensary. Corbin.
That is a dispensary.
That is incorrect, Corbin. Wildflower is a day spa. All right, Clover Patch Tulsa, day spa or
Lindsay.
dispensary. Lindsay.
Dispensary.
Lindsay would be correct.
What's the score?
6-8, Corbin's
Okay.
lead. All right, the Merry Mind, day spa or
Lindsay.
dispensary. Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay. The Merry Mind is a dispensary. All right, the Relax Station, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary. Corbin.
That is a spa.
That is correct. Corbin is up 9-6. Path to Wellness, day spa or dispensary.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Dispensary.
Lindsay, Path to Wellness is a
Oh,
day
I'm
spa.
sorry. I thought you said packed.
Oh, yeah. Is that the
wellness.
problem?
Uh-huh.
I thought it said packed.
Sure, yes. Let me enunciate a little bit more, shall we? All right, let's see here. Heirloom, day spa or dispensary. Heirloom, day spa or dispensary.
Corbin.
Corbin.
That's a dispensary.
Corbin, Heirloom is a day spa.
Mm.
You're still in the lead, 9-6. He's okay. Tulsa Garden, day spa or dispensary.
Lindsay.
Lindsay, day
Spa.
spa or dispensary. The Tulsa Garden is a day spa. Good job, Lindsay.
Score.
Looking at 9-7, Corbin's lead. Bella Roma Medical, day spa or dispensary. Corbin.
Dispensary.
Corbin, Bella Roma Medical is a day spa. Stonebrook, day spa or dispensary.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Spa.
Yes, you are correct, Lindsay. We are now 9-8, neck and neck. Who is going to win day spa or dispensary and walk away with a big, big prize? Stone Age Meds, day spa
Corbin.
or dispensary. Corbin.
That is a spa.
Corbin. The Stone Age Meds is a dispensary. Uptown Wellness, day spa or dispensary.
Corbin.
Corbin.
That is a spa.
Corbin. Uptown Wellness is a dispensary.
Really?
We only got 2 left here.
Okay.
All right. So we got a chance to tie it and a breaker if we can do this. All right. Pura, day spa or
Corbin.
dispensary. Corbin.
Dispensary.
Corbin is correct. Pura is a dispensary, puts him with the win, 10-8. I'll go ahead and give you the last one, see if you can guess it. Stonebrook, day spa or dispensary.
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Spa.
Lindsay would have been correct, which wouldn't matter because it's 10-9. Corbin is the big winner. Congratulations, Corbin.
What'd I get?
You want to know what you got?
Yeah.
My friend, I tell you, you have won my leftover potatoes. That's right, Corbin. I had
Listen,
dinner last night.
I love it. That's awesome, man. I'm actually kind of hungry, so I think that's a fantastic
This is
gift.
perfect.
And you're not a horrible cook.
No.
So that's great. But, I just think it's just an honor to win. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Lindsay. She put in a valiant effort.
Listen,
And,
Corbin,
I just appreciate the competitiveness. And, I'm just one guy on a team, and we're just a team trying to make the thing happen. And, it's an honor to be a part of the Ford Truck Series and anything I can do to make this Hilton Hotel team do the best they can.
Well, Corbin, I'm glad that you accepted and decided to give your prize of potatoes to the loser of the game, but that's not all that you're going to win. All right? So not only do you get my leftover dinner from last night, my potatoes and a little bit of steak with some cheese on top, I'm also going to hook you up with a 6-pack of Twisted Tea.
Oh.
Set right up front because
Right now, it's time for Our Listeners Are Awesome. We like to talk with our listeners. They share stories about their lives. And on the phone with us right now is Josh. Hey, Josh, how are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Josh, you've been married for 2 years. Congratulations. How did you meet your wife?
Actually met her through some mutual friends. I just got divorced from my first wife, and a buddy of mine was like, hey, you should talk to Casey. And next thing you know, we're talking, and then we're married, and now we've got another kid.
What is the best thing about Casey?
She's a hard worker. She's a good mom. All the things you want. She handles our kids. She stayed at home for a little while before while our son was a little bit younger, and then now she's gone back to work now that he's in daycare. But she kind of held the house down, took care of everything. And did all the stuff that you would want them to do. Take care of the kids, make sure everybody's fed, clothed, all that good stuff.
The backbone of the family.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It says you work for the railroad. What do you do for the railroad?
I work on the crossings. I take care of like the testing. Anytime there's a trouble call, stuff like that. But it's all. I work up in Tulsa, but I take care of all the crossings and do, like I said, do everything that has to be done with them.
Okay, so you're not on an engine. You go around and make sure the crossings are operating efficiently.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not in the operating department. I'm in the signal department. So I take care of all the signal related stuff.
What is the weirdest thing you've seen taking care of railroad crossing signals?
Weirdest. You get up around downtown Tulsa, you see a lot of homeless activity on the side of the tracks. So there's some interesting people you run into up there.
Why'd you get into that job? What were you doing before that made you get into that career?
Originally, I went to college and got a degree in high voltage, and I worked as a lineman for several years. And then I was living out of state. Was wanting to move home, get back to the house, and I took a job doing cell phone towers for a little while, and then got on with the railroad and just kind of gave up that lineman life and never looked back.
And when you were a lineman, what kind of lineman were you? Because I know there's some that are, the intense ones that do the really high ones, and then there's just the guys that do it around town. What kind of lineman were you?
I did transmission work, like you said, the little bit higher ones, the ones that transmit it further. And then it'll go from where it's made down to the substation, and then from the substation out, they have a distribution lineman. So I did the bigger ones for the most part. I did a little bit of distribution in college, but I was mainly transmission.
I don't know if you've been following the news. There's a story in the news in North Carolina where somebody or some people shot a couple substations and knocked a whole county out of power. Go ahead.
I saw that, and yeah, you don't really hear a whole lot about vandalism like that, but that's a pretty big one, because if you take out the transformers at the substation, then they've got mobile ones that they can bring in on a trailer to kind of get it back up. But depending on how much damage it is, they can, like the news said, they could be out for a week trying to get it fixed.
Yeah, they're saying it could be Thursday, and you automatically think of the people that, hot or cold, whatever. You're not thinking about the people that need oxygen or to keep their medical devices running to keep them alive.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, it can. People want to be dumb and damage stuff like that. They're not just affecting. They're affecting a lot of people, a lot of different people and different things. So.
Being a former lineman, do you think people really understand how reliant we've become on electricity and how well it's organized and ran to keep it going? Do you think people recognize that?
I don't. And then, I miss being a lineman, but, I see, like, when the power goes out, you'll see on Facebook, people are complaining about it, and they don't realize that people are out there working in the worst conditions to try to get it back on. And they're working with super high voltage that could potentially kill them, harm them. They're trying to do a job and get home to their families, and you just see people complaining on Facebook that their power's off.
When you were training to become a lineman, was there a class you took about dealing with people, or hey, you'll be working in the rain most of the time?
No, there was none of that. And they never told you, which you kind of understand, what you're getting into after you do it for a little while, but you're out working in the rain with electricity.
Yeah.
How many animals are responsible for knocking power off to like cities and counties and stuff? Like squirrel or a coon got in there and got frazzle dazzled.
Cities and counties, probably not too many, but they get up in like your home, the transformer for your home, and they're responsible probably for more home outages than anything else.
Well, you're a former lineman. Why did you get out of that field?
It was, I was living in Arkansas and was wanting to move back home, and I took that job doing towers to move back home, and I applied for every stinking lineman position I could find, and then they kept taking people with a little bit more experience. So I said, I can't do towers forever, and then I applied with the railroad, and that was 11 years ago.
Wow. And you just you took the job out of necessity and then just never looked back.
basically, and I've got an electrical degree, from OSU. So I still work on electronics, but it's DC voltage now instead of AC. So, and it's all the crossings are controlled by electronics, and then you got a battery bank in there that you got to mess with. So I still do some electrical stuff, but not like the scale I used to.
It says you're living in a camper now. Why are you living in a camper?
Yeah, we're building a house right now, and we were in a rent house for a year, and then we bought some land, and then the owners of the rent house wanted to move back in after our lease was up. So it was either scramble and try to find another rent house, or we decided to buy a camper, and we're living in our camper while we build right now.
So it's you, your old lady, and your kids. You got any pets or anything like that all crammed together in this little camper?
Yeah, we've got the four of us, and then we've got 3 dogs. They're all small.
Oh, wow.
But it sounds worse than what it is. We bought a camper big enough to live in. So it's not like a little bumper pull. It's a big 5th wheel with a bunkhouse. So it's not ideal, but we bought a pretty nice one. So
anytime I hear some Gimpy's pointing out living in a camper sounds horrible. All I hear is you're building a house and how big of a nightmare that is.
Yeah, and I'm my own general contractor, so I'm running the show. I'm building the house.
So you got nobody to blame but yourself.
Exactly. I'm the one that makes the phone calls and yells at people.
When did you start building?
We just started like 3 weeks ago. We just got the dirt delivered. They got it spread out, and they're supposed to start doing some concrete this week.
Oh,
so
you
Isn't it supposed to rain?
And when are you hoping to be done?
Well, we're doing like the barn dominium style house. But we've already got the building ordered. The building's already ready. So as soon as they get the concrete done, then they'll get to work, getting that building stood up. So hopefully in January we should have the building up, depending on the weather.
So but that's just the outer structure, right? You'll still have to frame the inside and sheetrock and yeah. Wow.
And I'm wiring the house.
Hell yeah.
I used to do residential wiring way back in the day in high school and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean,
I'll do my own wiring.
Why pay someone? You know what you're doing. They're not going to do it the way you want anyway.
Exactly, and they'll charge you extra for all the little bitty things that you want, and I can do it myself for free.
It says here that you also mentioned it that you used to work on towers. You almost fell off a cell tower. How high up were you, and what were you doing up there?
I was about 250 feet up, and this was like a 400-foot tower. But we were doing some maintenance on it, fixing old bolts, just replacing stuff that needed to be replaced. And I had climbed up a little bit to readjust to get a better position, and I thought I had clipped my harness back off to the tower, and I hadn't. And I went to lean back, to go to work, and one of the guys I worked with saw me and leaned up and grabbed my harness, grabbed me by the chest, and pulled me back in. He said, "Dude, you're not clipped off."
Oh my God.
and like your freaking heart sinks, when you're a couple hundred feet up in the air. And I'm glad he was there.
Yeah, when you're up that high, are you always with someone?
Not always. There was times that we would go do like maintenance jobs where one person would be on the ground with the line, and then another person would be up in the tower doing the work. So, but when I did towers, there was a person with another company that fell off and died. Oof. So it's a dangerous job.
But when you were a lineman, a transmission lineman, I mean, you were up pretty high too, right?
Yeah, but I think the biggest structure I ever climbed was like 120 feet. So nothing compared to the tower. The biggest tower I was ever on was over 900.
Dang.
Wow. Somebody texted in and said, "Have you ever been dropped off by a helicopter on the towers?"
I did not. I wish that would have been neat. I worked out in Massachusetts for a little bit in college. I did an internship out there, and they had a company that did that, but I didn't work for that company. But I did get to see it done in person. That was neat.
We're talking with Josh. Our listeners are awesome. And you work for the railroad now. We've heard in the news about the strike and everything. How is the strike? Has it affected you at all?
It not really. I mean, it's not interrupted my work schedule or anything like that. It's just they were really trying to get sick days for us. We don't get paid sick leave, and it got to the point where they've been trying to negotiate a new deal because our contracts are 5 years long, and we've been negotiating for almost 3. So we've been out of contract for a while, and they got the pay raises in there. They got the other stuff, the insurance, and then they were trying to get some paid sick leave. And it got to the point where they sent it out to the employees to vote on the contract, on the agreement that was put out, and the employees as a whole voted no. So then it goes back to Congress, and there's a Railway Act from like 1926 that allows the government to step in and kind of mediate negotiations. And if we come to a standstill, then they get to say, this is what you get. So last week, they voted in that tentative agreement. So we basically got what they gave us. And then they voted separately on the sick days, and that got voted down. So we got a tentative agreement. We got a new contract, but we didn't get any sick leave.
So tell me how that works. So if you're sick, what happens?
You get use vacation.
And do you get, how much vacation do you get?
Ours is set up. You end up getting 5 weeks, but you don't get your 5th week until you have 25 years in. You get your 4th week at, I believe, 15 years. So like me right now with 11 years, I get 3 weeks of vacation every year. And I'm actually on vacation this week.
Okay.
So, but I took off this week because I had to burn it, use it up. But yeah, if you need to go to the doctor, it depends on what you're doing. If you travel, I'm home every night. So, a lot of times I can set up appointments for after work, get home, run over to the doctor or whatever I need to do. But the guys that travel, that work on the road, they have to burn vacation days for all of that. So, or they have to set it up on their days off, which is what most people do.
The no sick leave is something I've seen actually happen a lot more, but they add more vacation days to companies that make that transition to no sick days. So it equates to the same amount. You don't have to use them. I think it was more of the idea of the benefit of you don't have to use sick day. Like you don't get to sick days unless you're sick, right? So they had to take away the sick days, add vacation days, and then you still get to use them whether you're sick or not.
Right. And I didn't realize it also until I usually don't pay super close attention to the contract stuff, but this one's garnered so much attention that it's kind of got everybody looking at it. And, you don't see everything that we see in the news.
Sure.
So we get to see all the details of it, and, everybody throwing their hands up going, what's taking so long?
I'm sure it's frustrating. It's got to be frustrating as an employee. Anytime you're in a negotiation, I'm sure it feels like you're getting screwed over for sure. It says that you nearly died doing electrical work. I'm sure that's just part of the job description of doing electrical work. But what happened?
Yeah, I was wiring a house. I think I was 18 or 19 at the time. It was right after high school. Working on a house, and I was working on a hot water heater. The guy I was working with, I had asked him it was a new construction, new home. I asked him to run in there and shut the breaker off for the hot water heater so I could install the plug get it ready to be put in. And he went in the garage, yelled at me, said, hey, it's off. Like, okay, cool. Well, I didn't think. I thought, he knew what he was doing. So I just reached up there and went to work on it. And I grabbed the wires, got locked up on it, muscles tense up, you can't let go. And luckily, right about that time that I did that, he came around the corner and saw me locked up on it, and I couldn't talk, couldn't do nothing. So he had to knock me off of it.
How much power?
Yeah, 240 volts.
Dang.
So, but it's like it's not the voltage that kills you; it's the amperage. But he knocked me off of it, and then I kind of got my bearings back. And the first thing I said is, "What the hell, man?" And so we went in the garage and looked, and he had turned off the breaker above the one that was clearly labeled hot water. So he turned off the wrong breaker, and then from that point on, even if I shut the breaker off myself, I still test it now.
Absolutely. That's a
From that-
lesson
For
learned,
sure.
right? It's weird.
From that one experience.
Yeah, electrical doesn't have a mind of itself, right? Like it's typically because of human error.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Last thing we have here for you, man, Josh, is it says you've only broken one bone. What is that?
Yeah, I grew up in the country. My parents, still live out there, but we used to drive around before I even had. I got my first truck when I was 14, but we would drive around dirt roads, no license, and I was at a friend's house about 2 miles away, playing, doing kid stuff, and then it got time to go home, and we just jumped in his mom's car and headed down to the house because it was 2 miles away. We'd done it, God knows how many times. But we jump in the car, and his little brother's in the back seat. I'm in the front, and he's driving. And he decides to show off a little bit. And we're going about 50, 55 down a dirt road on my parents' road. And he lost control. Car slid up a little bank, smacked a tree. And out of the whole car being totaled, complete mess, I got the worst injury, and I broke my big toe because I was wearing flip-flops and I kicked something.
Oh, no.
Yeah, poor me.
Broke your big toe.
So did you have to have a cast for that, or do you have a limp now?
No.
What's going on?
No, nothing out of the ordinary. It's all good.
Right, you get to be like, no, have you had a broken toe, Corbin?
Right.
I don't want to hear about it then.
Out of all the dumb stuff I've done in my life, climbing trees, falling out of trees, the times I should have broke bones, I broke a big toe.
Well, dude, it's been awesome talking to you. We didn't even talk about your two kids that I'm sure are awesome. Does she handle the Christmas shopping, or do you handle the Christmas shopping?
A little bit of both, and my kids are both awesome. My son, he's all. Everybody says this, but he's all boy. He ain't even 2 yet, and the kid, like, he watches his sister play softball, and he's already trying to hit the ball off the tee. Like, I don't know if he's going to be a ball player, but it'd be awesome if he does.
That's awesome, man. I love watching people, men specifically, when they get all excited about their kid and they turn into just putty.
Oh, it's great. I mean, and I coach my daughter's softball team, so I've got a bunch of little girls running around screaming at me. So.
Herding cats.
Awesome.
Herding cats.
Exactly.
Right on. Josh, it's been great talking to you, man. Be careful with that electrical, and good luck with the house. It's been great talking to you. Have a great Christmas, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everything you guys do. I've been a long time listening. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Good talking to you. Have a great day, Josh. You too. See you later. That's Josh. Our listeners are awesome. We'll take a break and we'll be back. You said the weekend, which he already gets.
No, I said I'll give you 2 days. That you've got Friday and Saturday, so I'll give you Monday and Tuesday.
You get Friday, you get Saturday and Sunday off.
Exactly. So you've got 4 days.
So you gave no days off.
I gave them Monday and Tuesday off.
No, you said back on Monday.
No, I said back on Wednesday. I said you got Friday and you got Saturday and Sunday already off. All right, so I'll give you Monday and Tuesday back to work on Wednesday.
Who wants to start in the middle of the week?
Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Listen, I've got a business to run, Corbin.
That's what I'm saying. I hear people all the time say that this isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It's not fair for me. It's not fair for what I want to do. I hear that all the time. And I'm going to tell you a story right now where you don't get to say that anymore.
Okay.
All right.
There is a country on this planet where the government makes them have a quota of collecting their own feces.
Why? Why is
for
that
fertilizer?
Okay.
And as quotas go, they tend to grow every year.
You haven't crapped enough this year.
And
You need to put out some more.
And it's such a problem, the quota and the unreachability for maybe you're not having enough fiber in your diet, that you end up stealing crap from your neighbors so you can meet your quota to the government.
What has this
Thou shalt
world
not steal
come
my
to?
neighbor's crap.
What's that, Gimpy?
So what does this world come to, man?
So when you talk about how unfair it is, just keep in mind, you're not having to steal your neighbor's crap, literally. I don't know what I would do. I got to keep... so like I do all the grocery shopping, right? I do the majority of cooking.
Right.
Because my schedule allows for that to happen.
Yeah.
So that means if the crap quota was a thing here, that would be on my list of things I got to take care of.
Absolutely. All right. So I got to go to the grocery store at 12:30. I've got a doctor's appointment and then pick up the dry cleaning. Oh, and I've got to take 4 craps today. Oh, Bmms too, because, I was light yesterday.
Hey, little Sally flushed. She can't be flushing.
Mm-hmm.
We are so close to this month's quota.
Yeah. You have to keep track of whenever anyone in your family goes poo. You got to collect it for your kids and your wife.
You want to guess what the average household quota a year is of crap?
Oh,
in this country?
Oof. Go, Lindsay, go ahead.
Like pounds?
Yeah.
Billion pounds?
$1 billion in a household.
Good
in
Lord.
a household. I'll go. Let's go with 100 pounds.
Okay. Gimpy?
I was going to say 50 pounds, I think is a good quota for your family to poop.
220 pounds a year in a household. Now, these are people that are able to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have somebody who's, they don't go, oh, sorry, they're on a colostomy bag.
It's a sliding scale, essentially.
Of course, it's an average.
Yeah.
Right. If you have only 2 people in a house compared to the house of 6, I think the scale is going to be a little different.
Does this article say, how they reach that number for the quota? Is it based on weight and diet and obviously household members, how many people you have in your house?
Sure. It's going to, by the number of people.
Okay.
Depends on how much your quota is.
Strictly on the number of people.
Yeah.
That judges how much you need to craft for this. Okay.
Yeah. What I said was the average.
Right. I was just thinking they look at a family of 6 and they're like, all right, well, you guys eat X amount a week. So therefore you should be producing X amount of excrement a week. So your quota is X. But I didn't know how it worked out. I guess it's just you got 6 people. You can make this much poop.
Yeah. You should be able to make this much poop.
Should be able to.
And if not, see your doctor.
The idea that would be a stress in your life.
Yes. What does stress do?
Right.
Stress
binds you up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Answer.
Would you rather, Gimpy, pay taxes or have to collect poop? Your family's poop.
Pay taxes.
Amen.
Pay taxes, man. I am
Lindsay?
not.
I think I'd rather collect poop and use it for fertilizer than pay taxes.
You say that the first day.
Yeah, that's true.
You may even say that the second day. But when you're on, let's just say month 6 of collecting your family's excrement.
I think it's worse than that. The first day the first month, you're not going to meet the quota.
Right. Oh, my God. Oh, we can't go too far into this, but things are different for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's movements are different.
Everybody has different kinds. So let's just say you've got a bad flu one week. Flu will put you down for 4 days.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing solid about a flu.
Or how about this? You're on an antibiotic.
But you can't use that, right? It would have to be solid.
Listen, I didn't go deep into this. Sorry.
Right.
I didn't go to the ins and outs of every household and how many people and what antibiotics you were on and what did that have to do with it.
Yeah.
To me, the headline is enough.
Yeah. I'm assuming they just want the solid stuff. And I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, they want a good turd.
You clean up after your ferrets. I clean the cat's litter box. I mean, it's not too much different.
It's completely different. One, you're trained by the animal. The other is
right. We're trained by our parents to do it in a receptacle.
Someone text in, put a colander over the toilet bowl.
Dude,
problem solved.
Pooping in the same thing that I strain my spaghetti noodles in.
No, you buy 2.
Yeah, but you got to clean one, Lindsay. You got to clean one.
Oh, God, and then you get them mixed up because, they're both silver.
One's plastic.
No, plastic absorbs smells.
Gross.
Use that one for your pasta.
We're getting We're getting too far.
Come on, man.
220 pounds. 220 pounds.
A month.
Or
is that a year?
A year.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, for
A
sure.
lot of fertilizer.
I get a bag of salt, and it's like 40-pound bag, right? For the water softener.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so like 5 of the that's a lot. I get it out of the trunk of the car and I'm like, but to do that with my own feces, family's feces, is a whole other ball of wax. Amen, right?
Yeah.
When you think about the things that people go through in other countries, I'm like, can you imagine if somebody ran for office and they were like, hey, we're going to put down the national debt by harvesting our own fees. Listen to the math. There's this many number of us. We can sell it at this much. We'll have this debt wiped out in no time and have a surplus. You'll be sent a bag.
Right, a government bag. That is not the best bag ever. It kind of leaks every now and again.
Y'all couldn't wear a mask.
For real. You want me to crap in a bag every day? Ship it off.
Think about that. We
off.
couldn't get everybody on the same page.
Hey,
with the mask.
Hey, did you crap in your bag today, sir?
Look at that beta crapping in a bag.
Oh my goodness gracious. No, there's other options, man. There's other options. There are plenty of animals on this planet that we could be harvesting. Hey, we do harvest their dookie for fertilizer.
Yeah.
Why do we got to use our own? Is ours as the human?
Yeah.
Is the human sample that much superior?
I can give you an actual reason why.
Why is that?
Box checked. We need more.
There's not enough crap in this world, which is crap in itself. There's more crap in this world than we need.
Yeah. Most people don't know this. There is a whole subgenre of studying the human feces.
Right.
And to the point where they do fecal transplants.
Right.
To make people healthy.
That was somebody's idea. That was like, guys, that was a meeting. That was a
law enforcement trying to, I guess, solve the murder of his child.
And get this thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. What does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you and the officers that are making things happen. And those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're going to take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can. But somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out. They're like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets.
Clearly, he is frustrated.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I think it's fair to be like, why aren't I getting information? The police officers are telling me this. Why aren't you telling me this? And a couple of things. One, they're trying to catch a killer. Certain information they don't want leaked. Because if it gets leaked, that's the way they identify the killer. And if you go out there just spewing anything, you're jeopardizing the case.
Yeah.
And it isn't about catching him as much as it is about conviction.
Right.
And if you just start spewing or whatever, then you potentially are letting the person that did this get off the hook if they ever get taken to trial. And it's not about suppressing. You aren't more of a victim. You're already the victim because your child was taken from you unfairly. But police officers are not detectives. I think that's super important.
Right.
They're just police officers. Some of them, most of them probably don't know the ins and outs of how it works.
Right. And like you said, I think it was like last one we talked about small town Idaho. Right? Not like they may not even have a detective division.
Yeah.
It's like the first murder they've had in like 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Their biggest case ever.
I think this is a little bit of just how the process works. They're slow to release information. Everybody's a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Yeah. And in this case,
even him.
Yeah. Everybody in town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And I can't imagine how frustrated it is. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
You're hearing multiple different things. Sometimes they do that to create some confusion because sometimes if it's a serial killer, there's some pride that happens. They want
the publicity.
Yeah.
Right.
A reward sometimes makes it look like they know and will suppress the person.
Mm-hmm.
There's some psychological warfare happening.
Right. Or you get false, people coming in being like, just for the reward money.
Right. So much false information.
Right. And clouds when they don't have the manpower to deal with all those leads. Like it creates some problems. And he's frustrated and rightfully so.
He should be.
But just because this happened to him doesn't mean he's entitled to information. I know that sounds mean.
Yeah.
But that's the truth, right?
Absolutely.
Is he entitled to information?
At the right time. At the right time. And it's not the right time. Wait till you catch the guy or gal, whomever.
Clearly, they can't trust that he's not going to go public with what information he's given.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if they don't want that information public, then they wouldn't give it to him.
He says this other, let me see if I have it. Because he says this other line that you're like, what? What are you talking about? Where he says, don't make me come forward.
Oh, geez.
Don't make me do this. Do your job. And you're like, man, you feel for him, right? It's incredibly tragic.
As hard as he can. But somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out. They're like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And
did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something.
Some mail.
That was mail related.
MAIL.
Okay.
So we're working with them. We're not selling them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here. We just have no information as family, and it gets tough day after day after day. I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day. We're going to hear something, and you see these, there's a break in the case, and it'll just be something stupid.
The sixth person in the...
The idea that you think you're going to get peace by knowing is not fair either.
Right.
Nothing's going to solve that feeling.
No. But I mean, you can't help but to feel frustrated at this point in time.
Yeah, I guess if you're wrapped up in getting the person caught.
Right. And I think that's exactly what it is. Instead of getting past it emotionally and psychologically, the loss of your child, we're trying to, hey, we're trying to find out who did it and put them behind bars and get justice. Get justice now. Justice will come when it's time.
You got to trust the process, and sometimes the process ain't fair. Bad things happen. There's things just happen. I was watching this video. A guy is walking down the street and he gets hit over the head with a baseball bat. Guy just walks by him and then pulls out this baseball bat and hits him. Ambushes just happen. They just do.
Yeah.
It is an S sandwich. You just gotta bite, chew, swallow.
Right.
It just is.
Right.
And people don't want to. That's what this is. Unfortunately, for that horrible. They're going through the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. It's not fair, and you don't want to deal with it.
However, that's life at this point.
At what point do you go, maybe I'm not helping? Maybe this isn't helping.
I think at the point when you're going on the news and sharing your frustrations and not getting anywhere, it sucks. I understand you want to get that out. You've got all this emotion inside, but you're really not doing any good. So why don't you just sit back and let them do their job?
Which is more frustrating? The fact that you're not getting information, or they finally catch the guy and he gets off on a technicality because
the latter
technicality.
half, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's frustrating to not get the information you're looking for, not to have that closure right now. But What happened if they did catch somebody and it was the wrong person? They arrest the wrong person, or he gets off on a technicality so he can go out and do it again, or she, whatever.
OJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
OJ got off because of what we now know as shoddy police work.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, they didn't know that was shoddy police work.
Right.
Right? Those officers were doing what they thought was best.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, he's guilty. Well, not by the courts.
Right.
It's just a crazy interview if you get a chance to see it. And I am not going to fault him for going on the news. I'm just not.
No.
He's a man who's lost his daughter in an unexplained way.
And they're not giving him updates.
Well, they're not giving him information that's suffice for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Satisfying him. Yep.
Right.
And I don't know. That's the thing, man. I don't know if he ever would. I don't know if he'd ever get the information that would make him happy. That's it. And, okay, we caught a guy. Cool. How do you know that's the right guy?
But to think there's some conspiracy against the case, I feel is a little big. That's a pretty big leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why that kid? If anything, these are all blonde, white, blue-haired kids. Like, this is in the spotlight because of them. Plenty of murder cases go unsolved.
Right.
Plenty.
Well, it's the left side trying to push their liberal agenda on weapon control is what it is.
I mean, some would argue that, except it's a knife.
Right, exactly. We got to ban all knives, all guns.
You think it's one of those things
All
like
knives.
when it happens to me, like then you realize, whoa, this is unfair. Rather than this is the way it's always been. Still could be unfair.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a dog in the fight. But now you got a dog in the fight, and you're like, whoa, this isn't okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
How many people were against COVID and then their family died of COVID and they're like, whoa, this ain't good. Right? How many videos did you see of people that were on like against it and then they're like, anyway, all right, we got to take a break and we'll be back.
More of the Big
Join a matchmaker. Ask a matchmaker to help you out. I feel like that would be something that would be on a matchmaking site.
Right, but don't you think there's room for fibbing on that?
Yeah, definitely.
You get to embellish a lot on those.
Yeah.
Picture of you and a dog, and they're like, oh, where's your dog? I don't have a dog. Oh, there's a picture of you on your dating profile. Yeah.
About that. That was my friend's dog, and I
Yeah.
thought it would just,
It's a great picture of me.
bring you in.
They do say that people with dogs in their profile pictures
Totally.
get lots of hits.
You want to, if you're a single guy, there are two ways to pick up women, in my opinion. A dog at a park. Go to a dog park. You will find probably a woman with a dog.
Sure.
I hope so.
Offer
Yeah.
to pick up your friend's kids at school where you have to walk in.
Oh, yeah. Single mom, single dad.
Just saying. Right? That would be the way to do it. All right. But Lindsay, well endowed.
Yeah, I would say get on a match. Hire a matchmaker. Hire a matchmaker. I don't think you're ever going to just find someone well endowed unless you are looking on someone's OnlyFans page, maybe. I would say a guy that has some junk is going to start his own page if he's single.
Gimpy.
I don't know. I don't know where to start, and I don't want to know where to start. So my advice to this person is figure it out your damn self. All right? Go find somebody and ask them if they got a big schlonger. And if the answer's yes, then okay, well, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself, but then there you got your answer. But I don't know. I have never searched for a guy with a huge schlong. I have no desire to search for a guy with a huge schlong. Now I'm out. I have no advice for you.
If you asked me where to find information on molecular science, I wouldn't be able to help you. Nor am I a resource for this. I'm just making an assumption. You might be focusing on the wrong thing.
Eyes up here, lady.
Yeah.
Right? If your objective is just to get that, go to the bar and ask guys.
Absolutely.
They will gladly tell you. And be ready to call them out on it because every guy is going to say they're a horse. That the Jolly Green Giant ain't got nothing on them.
When I had first pierced mine way back when I was in high school, you're proud of it. And I was talking to this gal, Amber, I think is what her name was. And I was telling her about it. Oh, yeah, penis is pierced, did it myself, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's see it. Okay. So I had no choice but to present myself to her. Oh, it just goes to prove his point. You're going to have to be prepared for them to, whip it out.
Yeah. You're going to have to be very assertive. Did you end up sleeping with her?
No, I didn't.
Interesting.
Why you say that?
I asked for the dessert tray. I'm getting dessert.
Not if it's ugly.
I don't know anything about that. Mind-reading brain implant allows man to talk again. A 36-year-old patient who's being known as Pancho is the first person to try a mind-reading brain implant that lets him, quote, speak. He was paralyzed from the neck down by a stroke at the age of 20, and the device has allowed him to communicate at around 7 words per minute, despite only being able to move his eyes. After all that time, he did have something important to tell the researchers. They put the implant in. What do you think the first thing he said was?
Hello.
It's fantastic. I'm obviously asking because it's not hello.
Can I get a churro?
I'm hungry.
Not far off.
Uno cerveza, por favor.
I think they're just calling him Pancho. Not sure of his ethnicity.
Just saying. Why else would they call him Pancho?
This hospital food sucks.
Nice.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's speaking the truth.
He's like, if I could just tell him about the hospital food. Guys, I think it's working. He's about to say his first words. Everybody gather around. The hospital food sucks. Because it's a robot, right? Okay. Somebody get him an In-N-Out.
Yeah.
All these stories are on our Facebook page at Facebook. Not I love you, not thank you,
Right.
not
This is incredible.
yeah, none of those things.
What's
Hey,
that
I've been
say
waiting
for-
16 years to say something. None of that.
What's it say about the hospital food if it's that bad? Like all that overshadowed by the hospital food.
I mean, you kind of want to go, hey, it's just one guy's opinion.
We all know.
But he's been in the hospital 16 years. He's been like, oh, God, if I ever get the chance to talk again, this is
Man who killed Kevin Bacon charged with first-degree murder.
I mean, 5th degree?
6th degree?
6th degree?
Yeah. So this happened in Michigan. A judge has decided that Mark Latunsky will face a charge of first-degree murder after a degree hearing. The murder degree hearing for Mark Latunsky continued for a second day. This happened last Wednesday. He admitted to killing and mutilating.
Morning, it's the Big Man Morning Show, 918-460-KMOT. So over the weekend, this crazy thing in the MMA world dropped. And there is a coach in the MMA that has a bunch of fighters in the UFC. And the UFC sent out a letter to him, all of his fighters, and to all the fighters that said he is no longer allowed to participate or be associated with the UFC, and any of his fighters moving forward will not be allowed to fight.
Wow.
It's a massive blow. And this was an up-and-coming, well-established coach, had some great fighters. On the side, he had a Discord channel where he gave gambling props. And one of his fighters was fighting, and he knew his fighter was injured. And he told people in his Discord channel to bet against the opponent. And then within a minute of that fight, his fighter went down, knocked out, fight was over. The other guy won. And they associate it, because now they can do this, right? They saw gambling trends that correlated from when he made the announcement to when those bets were made.
And got him popped for inside.
Yeah. Doing a setup, right?
Yeah, you can't do that, man.
Now, here's the thing I don't understand. If a coach does something like that, you can't control that, right?
Right. No, they're their own human being. Yeah.
Right. But a fighter, to get him to go on board with that, After all the hard work it takes to become a fighter in the UFC, they don't just hand that out.
Right.
Maybe they do to a couple guys, but they don't just hand that out. You have to work intensely hard.
Right.
You have to sacrifice time away from your family and loved ones and birthdays and Christmases and all these things. It is an intense process. And then to just gamble, to just jeopardize that, blows my mind.
Right. Well, they look at the only way I could see it. I've never been an MMA fighter or in the UFC at all whatsoever, but I could see it as like if you're, let's say your purse for the fight is like $50,000, and it's like I'll give you $250,000 to take a fall. $250,000, and I'm only going to get I could see how one would be like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take the fall.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a fast nickel compared to a slow dime, right? Like, but now you're done. Now you're not even making that amount, the 50.
Right.
And you're probably going to get in trouble and lose the money that you did get.
Right.
They're probably not even going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now you're that guy.
Right.
You are person non grata.
Yep.
Do not touch, do not pass go, do not collect. Like, you're done.
Yeah.
You might fight in some questionable organizations.
Right. Like in a barn in Pryor somewhere.
Maybe, but
you're not making that money anymore.
No.
It is, I'm just floored by it. Just floored by it. As someone who dabbles in it for fun and commentates on it and follows the sport, I just can't believe, because the amount of work it takes to become that.
Right.
The amount of work is just ungodly.
Yeah.
And then you just crap it, not just one guy, multiple people just crap it away.
And shame on the coach for even putting them in that position.
Yeah.
Making them choose.
Maybe pressured him. Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Or they all were like, yeah, that sounds good. Which means what? No, first time.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And
How
so-
many other times did he get away with before he got caught?
And so now, banned, done.
Oh, good.
Not today. And it's not like you can go to a rival group.
Right. Because there isn't really.
Because your reputation's destroyed. Character is everything, man. It's the only thing you give that to people.
Yeah.
You jeopardize it.
Start wrestling for WWE. And
Nope. They won't want anything to do with him. Crazy story, man. Let's see what Lindsay has for Balls to the Wall Sports.
Well, the knockout round of the World Cup is underway. Here's what went down over the weekend. The Netherlands beat the United States 3-1. Argentina beat Australia 2-1. France took out Poland 3-1, and England won 3-0 against Senegal. Now, today's matches: Japan takes on Croatia, and Brazil takes on South Korea this afternoon. And you can watch that on Fox. Deshaun Watson stepped foot on an NFL field for the first time in 700 days, and the Houston Texans fans made their displeasure known, letting the Boo Birds fly as he made his Cleveland Browns debut. The 27-year-old quarterback is returning from the 11-game suspension for violating the league's personal conduct policy after dozens of massage therapists made sexual misconduct allegations against him. Watson faced a hostile crowd as he made his Browns debut, with his former team supporters heckling him as he lined up under center. As we previously reported, attorney Tony Busby, who repped almost every single woman who accused Watson of sexual misconduct, announced at least 10 of his clients would be in attendance for the game. Watson's family was also at NRG Stadium to support, with everyone wearing number 4 jerseys in the stands. Deshaun had a smile on his face prior to the Browns' first offensive drive, but the television broadcast showed many fans were not happy to see him, and the Browns went on to beat the Texans 27-14. Primetime is moving to Mountain Time. The University of Colorado has hired football legend Deion Sanders as its new head football coach, instantly raising the national profile of a team that has had only 2 winning seasons in the past 17 years. The school is expected to pay the Pro Football Hall of Famer at least $4.5 million annually, and has hatched up a plan for success that might just be crazy enough to work for both sides, even if the cultural fit seems like an odd combo. There were a number of highly qualified and impressive candidates interested in becoming the next head football coach at Colorado, but none of them had the pedigree, the knowledge, and the ability to connect with student athletes like Deion Sanders. Colorado Athletic Director Rick George said in a statement released late Saturday, not only will Coach Prime energize our fan base, I'm confident that he will lead our program back to national prominence while leading a team of high quality and high character.
I mean, we'll see, right? He definitely is an energy guy, but there's video footage floating around of him meeting the Colorado players and him standing up and basically he's like, I'm bringing my baggage, so you better pack yours and just go ahead and get in the portal.
Nice.
and he's like, here's your starting quarterback and pointing to his son because his son's going to transfer there.
Oh,
so can you imagine, like, you've worked, oh my gosh, and maybe that's what needs to happen there, but whew.
He can recruit top players from across the country, much like former Colorado coach Bill McCartney did in the late 1980s and 90s when the Buffaloes were a national powerhouse.
Yeah, Colorado fan is obviously very excited about this.
Yeah.
This guy's a very unorthodox way to coach. Did it work at Jackson State? Sure. Will it work at this level? I don't know. Right? It's a little different beast, but the report is there have been 200 inquiries into transferring to Colorado. Just since the announcement.
Wow. That's your Balls to the Wall Sports. I'm Lindsay at 97.5 KMOUD.
Balls to the Wall Sports is powered by Miller Lite, the original light beer.
Being extremely vulnerable, right? Living in a place where they're trying to figure their life out, and then you get some predator. That's like, you know, a wolf in the sheep with the sheep, right? Like, oh man, trust is already eroded with some of these people,
right?
And then you go to a place where you're like, you're safe here. Come sit by me on the couch.
Closer.
Do you know about the 11th step?
This is actually a 13-step program.
Let's skip to step 69.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And this step's just between us.
Gross.
It's not in the book.
Let me teach you a few things that they won't teach you in class.
Right. Let me give you a chip.
You got to earn it.
Yeah. You want your chip on day 28?
Right.
So horrible. Like, there's certain groups of people that I think taking advantage of them is really disgusting, right? Children, of course, elderly, of course. I think taking advantage of homeless people is really disgusting, right? I think taking advantage of financially insecure people is disgusting. People that have just had some sort of catastrophe in their life, like a flood or a fire, that's really disgusting. This ranks right in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's as close as taking advantage of a mentally challenged person.
For sure.
Mentally disabled.
For sure. Not that those two things are the same, but yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Like, you're taking advantage of someone who's handed all their trust over. All of it.
So you can get a little pie.
So you can get your 3 seconds of joy.
God. But also, if you think about it, the sponsor,
If it's a sponsor, we don't know that for sure.
Okay. Well, if
we're just making
is,
an assumption.
They had to have been an addict at one time too, right? And so they've got their own issues.
Yes, but you don't.
So it's kind of like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, but they don't check your references on that. So a predator could easily infiltrate that.
Sure.
Right? Easily infiltrate that.
Well, seemed like a good guy when we interviewed him.
Man, he was nice. He always brought good donuts.
Yeah.
Made the coffee strong.
Right.
Too.
The coffee. He always made sure we had cream. And sugar for the coffee. You too. God.
Woman catfished by her female cousin for over a decade. And what's being called the most complex catfishing on record, 42-year-old Karat Asi is telling her story on a podcast called Sweet Bobby. So she met Bobby online in a private group with 50 people inside, all of whom were Bobby's friends and family. And they developed a relationship for over 10 years. This went on. There was always something keeping them from meeting in real life, including poor Bobby suffering from a heart attack. So she became suspicious because
in year 13?
Yeah, right. She said that some of those years she was in a romantic relationship with the fake Bobby. she believed he was living in Australia, and she had seen pictures of, come to find out, it was based on a real live man. But she received a message in 2013 on Facebook, a private message, saying that Bobby had been shot and was in a coma and suffered memory loss. And then in January 2014,
just trying to get out of it.
she learned that he had died. But soon after that, she receives an email out of the blue informing her that Bobby was actually alive, but faked his own death and is now in witness protection.
Goodness gracious.
So that's when she's like, okay, I got to hire a PI. I got to figure this
No,
one
you
out.
don't.
I know.
No, you don't.
Cut ties and let it go.
But she did. But she said she went through so much distress because she really cared for this human being. And, you know, it's like what we all hear about catfishing. I love this person. You develop emotions and real feelings for someone. So even though she says, you know, I know this is ridiculous, I was falling in love with this person. Then she finds out that Bobby was drinking heavily and was suicidal. In 2015, she was informed he had suffered a brain tumor followed by a stroke. Well, come to find out, it was her own cousin who not only made up Bobby, but every single person in that Facebook group.
No kidding.
She was.
No
all
kidding.
50 people.
Don't ever underestimate the links people will go to cover a lie.
Yeah.
I think that this possibly is a mental condition.
I agree.
On her. On her.
The person that got catfish?
Yes.
I was going to pin it more
How
on
many-
the catfisher.
I
You know,
mean,
For
follow.
sure. For sure.
Mhm.
That's obvious. But we're like, oh, poor her. What do you mean poor her?
I
She
think
had
it's-
how many signs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
very
yeah.
true.
How common is it to fall in love with someone on the other side of the globe?
I mean,
Right? There was so many signs, but she yet still believed, and she believed and fell in love with someone. She didn't fall in love with someone. She fell in love with a story.
mhm,
Okay.
She didn't know it was a story. She didn't want to believe it was a story.
right.
There were multiple signs.
But that's like saying that people that fall for telephone scams, then
No, it's
there
not.
must be something wrong with them because they fell for
No,
this scam.
There's no. If it was one time, sure. This is 13 years.
Yeah.
Right.
They've developed
They never met.
not in person, no.
They never met visually. They never met.
Only
got
pictures.
of somebody.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
So she believed in a fictitious person. If an adult was walking around, cover your ears, kids, that they believed in Santa, you would say they are
Crazy.
crazy.
Mhm.
So why is this different?
Because it's her. It's definitely. I mean, there is something there, but I do feel bad because maybe she was just very lonely at the time.
Sure.
And you know,
Sure, all those things might be
and
true.
desperate.
All those things might be true, but it was not love. Love is a two-way street,
Mhm.
right? There's no way the other person could have given love back. Maybe given affirmation, but could not have given love.
And it's her own family member. Assuming that they're close, she probably knows how to talk to her, what she likes, things like that, and really got into her mentally.
I was thinking, if you were single again, God forbid, knock on wood, blah blah blah.
Right.
If you were single again and you were how long do you think you would let it go of not seeing somebody? Forget the signs that maybe you would or would not see. How many times would you keep communication going with someone, much less say you're in love with them and never meet them face to face?
I think if I like starting an online conversation with someone, I would say 2 weeks. I would want to know see them in person.
Gimpy?
I was going to say about 30 days because anything can happen, especially if they, quote, live on the other side of the country. You know, you met them online. So, I mean, traveling isn't easy for everybody. Okay.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. So I say like 30 days goes by. And if you haven't made the effort or the other person hasn't made the effort to like, let's get together and actually meet in person.
Yeah.
Then adios, bitches. I'm out of here.
7 days.
7 days, huh?
7 days. We can FaceTime.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can
you can-
Zoom.
Skype.
Modern
Skype.
technology.
I'm just saying, right? I think
Yeah.
you're right. Like in traditional ways, like
Yeah.
actual face to face,
Mhm.
we could do FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know about y'all, but I want to be in a relationship where I'm kind of important.
Right.
I like to come secondhand.
Whatever. You're getting married. That's going to have to end.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There are plenty of times I've been out on a lake and we stop, against a rock or whatever. Excuse me. And people get out and climb and then jump while we're waiting. I'm like, you're crazy.
Even just that water enema. No thanks. The water going up, that hurts.
I don't
Does
think
that
that's
happen?
ever actually
Yes.
physically happened to
I don't
me.
know if that's a thing.
I've jumped
Yeah.
off of a lot of things and into some bodies of water, but that thing's pretty well watertight.
Ah, it's painful.
Huh. I don't know if I've ever heard this happen. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So you've jumped and received a rather substantial amount of water into your body.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It happened when we went to Skytook and we jumped off of the little cliffs. And it happened to my husband, and he said it was very painful. It happened to me when I jumped, and then when I landed, I got the biggest welt and bruise on the side of my leg.
Well,
and
what
all
does
the
that
way
have
up
to do
my
with the
hip.
water?
It all hurts.
So hitting the water hurts.
Yes.
Okay, you know what an enema is, right?
Yes.
What is an
And
enema?
that-
I
when
need to
the water
hold
shoots up?
on.
Yes.
What is an enema?
The water entering
Your butt.
your butt.
Divorce. Jeff Hensley and the folks at Hensley and Associates can help, and he's in the studio with us right now. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning. It's that time of year.
It's that time of the year
Mhm.
for divorce.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you come up on the holidays, and especially right after the holidays, so it can get kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, custody issues dramatically rise around the holidays, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're talking about visitation issues, yeah, they blow up all the time around the holidays. And, there's only so much we can do on a Friday at 5:00 before Christmas on Sunday. So, but yeah, I mean, anytime there's a holiday or even after the summer, it gets busy simply because we've got all sorts of custody issues because people can't follow orders.
If you're someone who's trying to make sure you get to see your kids around the holidays, is there any safeguards you can put in place to ensure, people be people, but that you can ensure that you're doing everything you can to make sure you get to see your kids at the time you want or have planned to?
Well, I mean, one of the things, I guess, is just planning in the sense of confirm with the other side, hey, I'm picking them up on X day at X time, and make sure that that's planned out and they've talked about it and that kind of thing, reminders, that kind of deal. Other than that, I mean, people be people, meaning essentially that, and I've said this before, and this is the thing about our system that sucks. Okay, and this is true for any portion of the law, criminal, you name it. It's reactionary, right? Something has to happen. So the example I always give is and of course, the older of us, we remember the movie. The younger millennials have no clue what I'm talking about. But Minority Report with Tom Cruise, right? Arresting people because they have a thought of something before it happens.
Precogs, yeah.
Precogs, yeah, exactly. So we don't do that. Our system is reactionary. Something has to happen for us to be able to do something. So when I get a call that says she's going to deny me visitation, well, just because she says it doesn't mean that I can go down and tell the judge, this is what's happening. She has to actually deny it. She has to actually do it before the system can do anything about it. So that's the crappy part, especially when you get a warning ahead of time. You can go to hell. You're not seeing your kids. Well, that's great to say, but until it actually happens, our system, there's not a whole lot we can do.
Jeff Hensley's joining us from Hensley and Associates. He's here to answer your questions. You got a couple ways to get them to us. You can call 918-460-KMOD. You can send an email to show@kmod.com, or you can text BMMS and whatever the question is to 82945. Megan is on the line. Hi, Megan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your question for Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates?
Okay, Jeff. So I am going on a cruise next week.
Lucky you.
And I have a 2-year-old daughter. So my question is about medical consent forms for minors. Or do I need a POA, a temporary POA for my mom while I'm gone on the cruise?
To decide if your kid needs medical care while you're away.
Yeah, like if she broke her leg or something happened on accident,
So what I would do is I would do
would be able to take care of her.
Right. So I would do a power of attorney. And, I have to actually applaud you simply because how many of us think about when we drop our kids off at grandma's house or grandpa's house about, hey, I'm going to go on a vacation for a couple of days or even a weekend. I mean, hell, I've gone on a vacation. I've gone on a weekend getaway with my wife and left my kids with my in-laws. And I never thought about if something were to happen, right? Because my wife's a doctor and I don't think about those things. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea. Power of attorney would be something great. And the thing about POAs is they can be, terminated at any point. So it's a limited thing. You can write in there, from this day to this day, you have this power while we're going on vacation, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's a fantastic idea. And I guess more of us should do it.
And it's pretty easy to get done.
Oh yeah, it's pretty, you want to give us a call. We can get it done fairly quickly. If you want us to do it, it's a great tool to have for certain situations, but smart thinking. I applaud you.
I have a quick backup question. My brother is going on the cruise with me, and he has a 5-month-old. Does it matter the county, or?
What do you mean?
Because he lives in a different county. Could he call you to get a POA too?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter. We practice all over the state.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
So
Thank you, Megan.
Yeah,
Have a
in
good
fact,
day.
if you'll give your name and number to Gimpy, I'll give you a holler later today.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Hold on the line. Let's go ahead and talk to Sean. Has a question. Sean, go ahead. You're on with Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
My question is me and my wife technically aren't divorced yet.
Okay.
But I keep finding drugs every time she comes over to my house to see the kids and everything like that. And at this point, she is threatening to take my girls out of school while I'm at work. Is there a way that I can get her like emergency guardianship or emergency custody, something like that, to where she can't take them?
So first question is has anything actually been filed to start the divorce?
Yeah, I went down and had a lawyer's office start the paperwork, but he wanted $2,500 up front. I don't have that kind of cash. I'm taking care of 4 girls on my own.
Well,
So nothing's been filed with the courts.
So nothing's been filed.
No.
Okay.
No.
So right now with nothing filed, all right, unless you go and get emergency custody, all right, you both can play hide the ball with the kids. But my question is this. So is she using around the kids? Are you making her come over and see the kids at your house? What's the situation? Because to go and get emergency custody, whoa, hold on. To go and get emergency custody, you have to show that the kids are in immediate, irreparable harm. So what's going on? I mean, explain your situation a little more to me.
She's homeless. She doesn't have a place to be.
Okay.
She doesn't have a place to take the kids, so she has to come over to my house to see them.
Okay.
She doesn't have a place. She can't ever get a hotel room for them, nothing like that. Otherwise, I'd let her do it.
Okay.
But the last time she was over at my house.
Hopefully not if you're finding drugs. What kind of drugs are you finding?
Meth.
Oh, well, that'll do it. So, I mean, yeah, you want to file the divorce and then file an emergency custody that blocks her from having visitation with the children because she's homeless and doing meth. So, yeah, I mean, there's...
Well, the last time she was over, she was in the bathroom and I caught her doing it in the bathroom. I called the police, told them that she has dope in my house. She has a pipe, she has meth, everything like that. They didn't do nothing. They didn't come over, they didn't arrest her, they didn't take it, they didn't do nothing. They told me pretty much there's nothing they can do. That's all hearsay.
I wish you could see my face right now.
Right.
I'm giving this weird face like,
Can
what
you
the
call
hell?
the police when that happens, Jeff?
I mean, I've seen it done before. Yeah. I mean, which city was this?
Tulsa.
You know what? I've got a friend whose husband is really high up in the PDs. I'm going to give her a call and ask her about that because that's very strange to me. They wouldn't come over. And
They
do
should have gotten
something.
involved.
Well, I'm cautious here because my gut instinct and my recollection in other situations that I've dealt with over 15 years of practice is they have gotten involved. Why they wouldn't get involved this time, I'm not sure. So that's strange. But I like I said, I've got somebody whose husband is really high up. I mean, like really high up in the public and in the with the police department. I'm gonna call her today and ask her about that because that's strange to me. They didn't do anything. Especially, did you ask to have her removed from the home?
I asked her to have her removed from the home. I even asked to have her arrested because she had it in the house when there were children in there. And the officer that came by my house pretty much said, dude, there's nothing we can do.
Okay, so
it's all hearsay. We can't search her. We can't come in the house and do anything.
Okay. I want you to give me your name and number to Gimpy. I'm going to call my friend, have her talk to her husband, and then I will call you and we'll talk.
Okay.
Hang on the line. Jeff,
that's just
how does
bizarre.
that work? First of all, how fast is the process of getting emergency custody?
Well,
and two, is there a burden of proof that you have to show that? I mean, can you just say that you're taking meth?
Well, and that's the thing is, so filing and filing for emergency is easy. You just go down and file it. And then you present it to the judge, and then the judge in Tulsa County anyway will read the pleadings and then decide if emergency situation exists. And if so, then the judge will grant a temporary emergency until the show cause hearing, which is set within 21 days under statute. So yeah, the burden of proof once you get to the show cause is you have to show the child is still in immediate irreparable harm. I mean, that's the standard. There's immediate irreparable harm.
But is your word good enough?
No. So that's the thing is when you file for emergency custody, you have to attach an affidavit that you personally have knowledge, you've personally seen with your own eyes and heard with your own ears, whatever it is that you're claiming. Okay. You can't just have somebody come tell you something unless they sign the affidavit. It's got to be the person that has physically seen it with their own eyes and ears kind of thing. So, so that's the burden of proof. And then the judges make a ruling at the show cause hearing if the emergency still exists and what to do about it at that point.
The only other thing that I was thinking of when he said the police wouldn't get involved, how do you prove someone's homeless and they don't live there?
Well, when you're talking about your home, well, first of all, a lot of times it's based on, mail or something, but a lot of times it's, if she doesn't live there and you want her removed, I mean, you've got some issues there because you've invited her in and all these other things, but it's an interesting situation. I'm going to check with Perry Newman, who does all our criminal law, and check with him because he handles all these kind of issues. And then I'm going to call my friend and have her talk to her husband.
Because it's a fascinating situation because there's a chance she could still be getting mail there. Her driver's license could
right, and that's the problem you run into.
Yeah.
And I've seen sometimes where people will send mail to that house even though they've never lived there, but they can't afford a P.O. box or whatever it is. So, yeah, you're right.
Caleb's on the phone. He's got a question about visitation. Go ahead, Caleb. What's your question for Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates?
Hey, man. How are you today?
Good.
So, my question is, if I'm on a birth certificate, but she has kept him from me, what can I do about that? She's got me blocked on every platform of social media and my number.
Okay, so this is a standard paternity case, all right? And let's talk about that for a second. So just because your name is on the birth certificate and just because you signed an acknowledgement of paternity that the kid is yours in the state of Oklahoma since November 1st of 2011, that only gives a presumption that you're dad, okay? In Oklahoma, for the last 10 years or 11 years now, I guess, dads who have children out of wedlock have no rights until they file something in a court of law, whether it be through administrative court, meaning DHS court, or through a district court. You have to file and say, I want to be adjudicated. All that means is legally found to be dad, okay? To have the same rights as dads who have kids that are in a marriage, all right? So with that being said, what she's doing, she can do. So you need to give your name and number to Gimpy so I can call you and we can talk about filing a paternity action, because until we do, she can do everything you want, anything that she wants with the kid, including moving out of state. So, don't wait too long, or next thing you know, you're going to blink and it's 5 years down the road. So give your name and number to Gimpy and we'll talk about it. We'll call and talk about it, okay?
Sweet. I appreciate it, man.
You're welcome.
All right, hang on the line, man. Let's go to Tony has a question. Tony, what's your question for Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates?
Actually, it's not a question. I was just calling to comment about him, what the person said earlier about calling the cops with meth. I run a construction company, and I worked for a slumlord, and he sent me over to a house, and there was 3 babies in there, heads shaved, still had lice on their head. There was tubes running around. They were cooking shake and bake, and they needed their plumbing fixed, and they had their bathtub filled up with feces, and they were cooking meth right in front of the kids. And I called the Tulsa Police Department, 911, and they said they couldn't do nothing about it. And then I called the meth hotline, and he said, yeah, I'm the guy that you just called. And they never did nothing about it. And so I can see where that guy's coming from. That's a true story.
So I think in those situations, what needs to happen then is call DHS. Call the 800 number for DHS and make a referral, and then they can get involved immediately as opposed to the police. I guess that would be the other option.
Right. This was years ago.
Or guys and gals, everybody out there listening, contact your legislature. Find the person that is in your district and contact them and tell them you're upset about what the law is in Oklahoma and those kind of things, and let's make a change.
Yeah, we're not Oregon. And hey, another option is don't do meth.
That is another option.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
I have to say, Nancy Reagan got it right. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Some.
No, don't. So, yeah.
Tony, thank you, man. I appreciate your time, man. Have a good day. Jeff, I think there's some people perplexed right now by the idea that the police don't get involved when something illegal is happening.
Well, and the thing is
the question is it illegal? It's not your house. You're saying about something that's going on in a private residence. It creates some obstacles for the police.
Right. It does. And I'm not saying and policemen that are out there listening, my next door neighbor is a cop. I love him to death. I'm not talking bad about cops. I'm merely saying you guys are constrained by certain laws, and it's not your fault. It's that simple. There are certain things that you can and can't do when you're a police officer because of issues of going into a structure. You've got to have a warrant, probable cause, all those kind of things. So, there's a lot of things that tie into the things that our police forces, wherever they're at, Tulsa or otherwise, can and can't do simply because of the way the laws are written.
But isn't it different if it's child endangerment?
Well, and I guess that's the case. You've got to prove that it is. But the thing is in this particular case that called in, you've got somebody inside who isn't using meth, who is trying to protect the children. Mm-hmm. So I think DHS is probably a better avenue than calling the police at this point as far as, but you have to be careful there too, because if you've invited a known meth addict in and caught her before using meth, then you want to be careful. You don't want to back into a failure to protect charge too. So, I mean, it's a slippery slope. It's a truly slippery slope, and there's no perfect answer. I mean, the other thing is I guess kick her out into the street while she's doing meth, then call the cops, and she's doing it in public. So, well, I guess they can arrest her then.
I would imagine somebody in law enforcement would advise us to use different vernacular when you call in for talking to the dispatcher too, because if you called and said, "Hey, these children are about to be harmed, you need to get out here," they would come. But if you gave them too much information, they may go, "Well, that doesn't sound like that is an us issue."
Right. And again, it's a dangerous, slippery slope. Contact your legislator. Make a difference.
Jeff Hensley, let's reset. Jeff Hensley from Hensley & Associates is joining us. Question about divorce, custody, guardianship, any family law scenario. Jeff and the folks at Hensley & Associates can help. We're taking your calls right now at 918-460-KMOD. Chris is on with us. Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. What's your question for Jeff?
Okay, so I got a daughter that's in guardianship, and they took her to New Jersey, and they won't let me talk to her or see her or anything. And I would like to be able to see my daughter, you know what I mean?
So the guardianship was done in New Jersey?
No, it was in K County.
And they took the kid to New Jersey?
What?
You said something about New Jersey.
Yeah, they took her to New Jersey. It's my sister-in-law. They took her to New Jersey.
Did they get permission from the court to do so?
I actually don't know. I was locked up for a little bit.
Okay, listen, you have to turn your radio down if you're going to talk to us, because you're getting stuck in the vortex, the black hole of between us and the live stuff. So if you want to get your answer, you got to turn your radio down. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay,
sorry.
So what happens is we need to file a motion, because whenever a guardianship goes into place, all right, when there's kids involved, they have to put in something called a list of standards. Standards is nothing more than a list of things that must be completed before the judge could consider terminating the guardianship. Now, here's the one vagary or one problem, in my professional opinion, about small counties, okay? Meaning not Tulsa, not Oklahoma County, and some others. There's a lot of times the judges out there, for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's their local rules or what, but they fail to put in a list of standards. They just grant the guardianship and leave it at that. So that means we now have to file for a list of standards so that we can start getting you the visitation, because there should have been some sort of visitation. Or what were you in jail for, if you don't mind me asking?
It was a number of things. I kind of had a bout where I was doing drugs and stuff like that, went down a spiral, and got out of that.
Okay, but you weren't molesting children or anything like that, right?
No, absolutely not.
Right. And I don't mean any offense by that. It's just, I don't know you, okay? So with that being said, you should have had at least some sort of supervised visitation or something. And as guardians, it is their job to help facilitate that contact. So if you'll give your name and number to Gimpy, we can talk and we can file things to get you visitation with your kid, because not being able to talk to them or see them, that shouldn't be happening. That's not the guardian's role, is to help facilitate a relationship.
Right.
Question for you, Chris. Is your sister-in-law is the guardian, or you have the guardianship?
So, no, it was my sister-in-law that's got the guardianship.
He was in jail.
There's Yeah, well, it was my mother-in-law that had it, and she had cancer, and so she got co-guardianship with my sister-in-law, and then my mother-in-law went to New Jersey with my daughter, and then she passed away while she was up there, and then just they kept my daughter up there.
How long has this been going on?
Couple years.
Dude,
Wow.
give me your name and number to Gimpy. Let's talk. You need to see your kid, man.
Yeah.
Hang on the
Because
line.
if you're not careful, they're going to move in on adoption and terminate your rights. So,
Or may have
already done that. So let's say name and number. I'll call you.
Hang on the line. Talk to Gimpy there. Dan has been holding. He's got a question about custody. Dan, go ahead. You're on with Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates.
Yes, sir. I have 2 children, one of which I have every other weekend for 4 hours. And then I have one that I have not got to see in 4 years. I have custody agreement in place on my daughter, who's the one that I get to see for 4 hours every other weekend. But I'm wondering what I can do about that and how I can go about getting to see both of my children at the same time.
So why are you not seeing the other one?
Drug use, and I decided to get out of the relationship, and then I got clean, and I haven't been able to pursue getting things done through the courts yet because I didn't have the money.
Are these 2 different moms?
Yes.
Okay. Just got to clear that up. All right. So essentially what we've got to do is we have to file an action on the one that you don't have any visitation orders for. And then how long have you been doing the 4 hours every other weekend kind of thing?
For 6 years.
Yeah, we need to modify that, friend. Absolutely. You definitely have grounds for modification. Your stuff should have changed a long time ago. So, yeah, that is modifiable unless you're still on the sauce, unless you're still doing drugs.
I consume cannabis, but I haven't done anything else.
You got a card, and I assume you got a card for that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so, yeah, give her name and number to Gimpy, and we'll talk about modifying that, because if you've been doing it for 6 years, you should have way more time with your kids after 6 years. That's kind of nuts.
Okay.
Hang on the line.
I appreciate that, Jeff.
Hang on the line, buddy. Brittany is on. She's got a question about divorce. Brittany, go ahead. You're on with Jeff Hensley of Hensley and Associates.
Hi. I had filed my first part of my divorce back in January 2021. And, it was supposed to be uncontested. We had agreed. We had the paperwork drawn up, and, he did sign them and everything was filed. But between filing the petition, you have to do your parenting class and stuff like that.
Right.
And he just didn't do it. Never did it. Lied about saying he did it, and now it's been 10 months and he hasn't spoken to our 2 children or seen them.
What was the custody agreement? Was it joint?
Was the custody agreement what? I'm sorry.
So what in the divorce for the children, did you guys agree to have joint custody or sole to you or what?
He signed sole custody over to me in our first set of papers.
Okay. Did you try
them? And that's what's filed.
For you talking about the petition or a decree?
The petition.
Okay. So did he, as far as the decree is concerned, did you and he signed a decree together, correct?
We did, yes.
Okay. Did you try to present that to the court?
I haven't, because I was told since I have had another child, I can't file that, I guess.
Well, not now. No. I mean, now you've got a whole nother set of problems.
Explain what that means now that she's had a child without the divorce finalized.
So what that means is your husband is actually the legal father of that child, even though he may not be the biological father. So you're going to need biodad to sign an acknowledgement. You're going to need to have, I'm sorry, you did, and your ex signed a denial?
Everybody, yes. That's the thing. He has no problem showing up and signing, papers to say he doesn't want anything to do with any child. That's fine.
So here's the thing.
If he won't give me the divorce.
Well, it's not about giving you a divorce, dear. Here's the thing, all right? If you've got sole custody in the decree, the judge should sign it because you've done the parenting class, correct?
Yes, I have. I have my certificate.
All right. He doesn't, the fact that he hasn't taken it is not relevant, and here's why. If you guys had joint custody under the law, the judge couldn't sign the joint custody agreement until he does, but you've got sole. So the judge can go ahead and sign off on it and then just put an order in there that he has to take it before he can ask for any affirmative relief. So what county is this in?
Tulsa County.
Okay. Yeah, you should be able to go and get that signed. At least that would be my advice. Just make sure you include the second child and put in there, we would need to put in there that an acknowledgement and a denial's been filed and those kind of things. But outside of that, I mean, the fact that he hadn't taken the course, you've got sole, so that shouldn't affect it.
Okay. I guess my question was if I wanted to change the papers, since he doesn't want anything to do with the
You would
kid.
have to get him to sign all over again. You can't go changing it behind his back just because you've got his signature on a piece of paper.
Right. And then I would have him served again and everything.
You don't have to. No. You don't. Okay. So here's the deal. Once you file a petition, you don't have to refile a petition when things change. Okay. Like that. All right. Because you don't have a decree in place. So all you have to do is change the decree and say, hey, loser dude, you need to come over and sign these because you haven't talked to the kids in 10 months. So I'm changing it. And by the way, I need a new signature.
Okay. And then if he doesn't, because I have asked him, hey, I need you to come sign these papers. And
then you're going to have to file for a status conference or something with the judge to drag him there, or file for default or something, because again, just because you have an assigned agreement, because you want to make changes. Now you could file the decree as it is, because he authorized that, but any changes he's going to have to okay. And if he doesn't get off his butt and do anything with it, then you're going to have to take him in front of the judge to get some stuff going.
Okay, so I don't have to change my decree if I have all of the paperwork signed that, the parental stuff for my new.
As long as you're not changing anything at all from what he signed, you have to file it exactly the way that he signed it. Otherwise, you're committing fraud. All right. Okay. Is the second child included in that paperwork?
I don't think so. He was born in 2020 and I filed in 2021, so I probably didn't even have time to change it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to include that information about the second child.
Okay, so I need to get a new decree written up with
you can
the same, and then have
wait. Here's the thing: you can handwrite it in. You're going to need to initial it, but your ex is going to need to initial it too.
Because you're changing the original.
Making a change. It's called interlineation is the word we use when we handwrite it in. It's just a fancy word for writing it in. But you both have to initial it, acknowledging that there's been an interlineation or a change.
Okay, so I need to write in my new child's initials? Because
all of it. You're going to have to put, okay, so you're going to have to put.
This is so much more complicated, and this is a great example of why you shouldn't be doing this.
Right, you should
by
never
yourself.
do all this. Right, exactly. So give your name and number to Gimpy. I'll call you, and we'll talk about how to unscrew this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hang on the line. This is a classic example.
This is classic. I mean, not knowing what to do and being confused.
Knowing just enough.
Well, and the thing is she could probably have been divorced a year ago. That's just the thing. And I'm not being critical of you, obviously, if you're still listening, but I'm just saying that this is why you don't want to do these things by yourself. This is what we do every day. We know what the laws are. We know what the judges require. This is why we're here. This is why we're serving you to get it done. Don't do it on your own. It's a cluster, and it's only getting worse.
And if you notice, there's so many little hiccups to make sure you get the I's dotted and the T's crossed. That's why you need to hire the folks at Hensley & Associates to help navigate the sea of divorce or custody, or had a child in the process of the divorce or whatever, because you can tell it complicates things immensely, but it's not something that can't be navigated with the right people. Right. And Jeff and the folks at Hensley & Associates can do that. The phone number, 918-398-5692. We got some people that couldn't get through, and you can call that phone number, mention KMOD, get a free consultation over the phone, 918-398-5692 for Hensley & Associates. Any family law scenario, divorce, spousal support, division of assets, father's rights, and they now have an office up in Pawhuska to help with some of those northern counties in the state as well.
That's right. It's the She Make Law firm up there, and it's us. We just left the name, so give them a call up there. They can help with any of those out there. That way you don't have to pay for the driving up to those counties, but they're doing a great job. They do all the counties up there, and in addition to family law, they do every other bit of law. So criminal, contract, you've been in a car wreck, give us a call. You have medical malpractice, someone screwed up your surgery, call them up there. We're handling all of those kind of cases up there now. So anything other than family law, we do up in that county, or excuse me, in our office in Pawhuska. So give them a call, and we can definitely represent you on every single one of those.
918-398-5692 for Hensley & Associates. Jeff, have a great week.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Take a break, and we'll be back.
You're listening to the Big Mad Morning Show.
We'll treat him as family. He'll stay on insurance. We'll give him projects. Everything will stay the same. But to have the expectation that he's going to be the same employee is not realistic. And that is what I'm saying.
I understand there's going to be some differences, but deep down inside, if that's what he needs to heal, then you keep on keeping on. I'm not hiring. I'm not looking for the new hire immediately.
He is going to be a drip at the company picnic.
Oh, yeah.
Do not ask him to play laser tag or just tag or capture the flag.
Don't even say the word capture around him.
Don't do the ropes course with him.
Right.
Trust fall?
No. Trust any of you bitches.
No.
He's going to want to move to another state and start a whole new life.
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Let it work itself out, but you have a responsibility to your customers. And as a manager of a business, we got to move forward. We can't let somebody hang on to the back of the train as it's pulling away from the station. Give him all those resources he needs. Let him continue to get a check.
Right. All right. Listen.
Put him in a basement. Take his red stuff. Whatever that looks like for you.
Right.
All these stories are on our Facebook page. No days off.
I said 2.
No, you said the weekend, which he already gets.
No, I said I'll give you 2 days. That you've got Friday and Saturday, so I'll give you Monday and Tuesday.
You get Saturday and Sunday off.
Exactly. So you've got 4 days.
So you gave no days off.
I gave him Monday and Tuesday off.
No, you said back on Monday.
No, I said back on Wednesday. I said you got Friday and you got Saturday and Sunday already off. All right, so I'll give you Monday and Tuesday back to work on Wednesday.
Let's start in the middle of the week.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh. Listen, I've got a business to run, Corbin.
That's what I'm saying. I hear people all the time say that this isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It's not fair for me. It's not fair for what I want to do. I hear that all the time. And I'm going to tell you a story right now where you don't get to say that anymore.
Okay.
All right.
There is a country on this planet where the government makes them have a quota of collecting their own feces.
Why? Why is that?
For fertilizer.
Okay.
And as quotas go, they tend to grow every year.
You haven't crapped enough this year.
And
You need to put out some more.
And it's such a problem, the quota and the unreachability for maybe you're not having enough fiber in your diet, that you end up stealing crap from your neighbors so you can meet your quota to the government.
What has this
Thou shalt not
world
steal
come
my
to?
neighbor's crap.
What's that, Gimpy?
So what does this world come to, man?
So when you talk about how unfair it is, just keep in mind, you're not having to steal your neighbor's crap, literally. I don't know what I would do. I got to keep... so like I do all the grocery shopping, right? I do the majority of cooking.
Right.
Because my schedule allows for that to happen.
Yeah.
So that means if the crap quota was a thing here, that would be on my list of things I got to take care of.
Absolutely. All right. So I got to go to the grocery store at 12:30. I've got a doctor's appointment and then pick up the dry cleaning. Oh, and I've got to take 4 craps today. Oh, Bmms too, because, I was light yesterday.
Hey, little Sally flushed. She can't be flushing.
Mm-hmm.
We are so close to this month's quota.
Yeah. You have to keep track of whenever anyone in your family goes poo. You got to collect it for your kids and your wife.
You want to guess what the average household quota a year is of crap?
Oh,
in this country?
Oof. I'm going. Go, Lindsay, go ahead.
Like pounds?
Yeah.
Billion pounds?
1 billion pounds in a household.
Good
in a
Lord.
household. I'll go. Let's go with 100 pounds.
Okay. Gimpy?
I was going to say 50 pounds, I think is a good quota for your family to poop.
220 pounds a year in a household. Now, these are people that are able to do that, right? So if you have somebody who's, they don't go, oh, sorry, they're on a colostomy bag.
It's a sliding scale, essentially.
Of course, it's an average.
Yeah.
Right. If you have only 2 people in a house compared to the house of 6, I think the scale is going to be a little different.
Does this article say, like, how they reach that number for the quota? Like, is it based on weight and diet and obviously household members, how many people you have in your house?
Sure. It's going to, by the number of people.
Okay.
Depends on how much your quote
it's
is.
Strictly on the number of people.
Yeah.
That judges how much you need to craft for this. Okay.
Yeah. What I said was the average.
Right. I was just thinking like, well, they look at a family of 6 and they're like, all right, well, you guys eat X amount a week. So therefore you should be producing X amount of excrement a week. So your quota is X. But I didn't know how it worked out. I guess it's just like you got 6 people. You can make this much poop.
Yeah. You should be able to make this much poop.
Should be able to.
And if not, see your doctor.
The idea that would be a stress in your life.
Yes. What does stress do?
Right.
Stress
binds you up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Answer.
Would you rather, Gimpy, pay taxes or have to collect poop? Your family's poop.
Pay taxes.
Amen.
Pay taxes, man. I am
Lindsay?
not. Oh.
I think I'd rather collect poop and use it for fertilizer than pay taxes.
You say that the first day.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
You may even say that the second day. But when you're on, let's just say month 6 of collecting your family's excrement.
I think it's worse than that. The first month, you're not going to meet the quota.
Right. Oh my God. Oh, we can't go too far into this, but things are different for everybody.
Yeah,
and
everybody's
people
movements are different.
Everybody has different kinds. So let's just say you've got a bad flu one week. Flu will put you down for 4 days.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing solid about a flu.
Or how about this? You're on an antibiotic.
But you can't use that, right? Like it would have to be solid.
Listen, I didn't go deep into this. Sorry.
Right.
I didn't go to the ins and outs of every household and how many people and what antibiotics you were on and what did that have to do with it.
Yeah.
To me, the headline is enough.
Yeah. I'm assuming they just want the solid stuff. And I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, they
like,
want a
Gimpy,
good turd.
You clean up after your ferrets. I clean the cat's litter box. I mean, it's not too much different.
It's completely different. One, you're trained by the animal. The other is
right. We're trained by our parents to do it in a receptacle.
Someone text in, put a colander over the toilet bowl.
Dude,
I'm not
problem solved.
Pooping in the same thing that I strain my spaghetti noodles
No,
in.
you buy 2.
Yeah, but you got to
noodles,
clean one,
for your
Lindsay.
bathroom.
You got to clean one.
Oh, God. And then you get them mixed up because, they're both silver.
One's plastic.
No, plastic absorbs smells.
Gross.
Use that one for your pasta.
We're getting off. We're getting too far.
Come on, man.
220 pounds. 220 pounds.
A month. Or is that a year?
A year.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of fertilizer.
I get a bag of salt, and it's like 40-pound bag, right? For the water softener.
Mm-hmm.
And so like 5 of the that's a lot. I get it out of the trunk of the car and I'm like, but to do that with my own feces, family's feces, was playing out in her driveway, just playing, went inside, got in an argument with her mother, her stepmother, then went out in the driveway again to play because she was mad at her stepmom. At 6:30, the stepmom went out to go find her, couldn't find her. Apparently, internet reference, she was picked up by a FedEx driver and dead in an hour later.
Wow.
And obviously the FedEx worked with the police to track the truck down and track the guy down. He had no criminal history according to FedEx because they said they do background checks and there was nothing that led them to believe that he was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of things. 7-year-old, you just leave them by themselves in the driveway for almost 2 hours?
No.
That seems weird.
Yes, it is weird.
But everybody parents differently.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that is, I am in a cul-de-sac. There's no passing by, and I don't let my kid go out there by themselves.
Right.
That's just me. We all do it different. But so that part's a little weird. You can go with, he had no criminal history. And I'm not saying people should be judged on accusations, but it is showing up online that he has had at least one person that accused him of rape 8 years ago, and no one believed him or believed her.
Right. And that's the thing. No criminal history. He just hasn't been found guilty of anything.
Or charged.
Enough
to get a charge.
Exactly. So he could be out doing these heinous things and just not getting charged for it. And it ain't going to pop up. Yeah, sure. He's a clean dude. Let him come on in. Whatever.
Well, people are saying he had a clean record and criminal record charges. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go back. I don't think it's fair to go back and go on accusations. I know plenty of people that get accused of things that did nothing wrong.
Right.
I know plenty of people that get charged and then the charge is dropped.
Right.
Because there's no real information to back up the charge. So that would, I don't know, do charges show up if they're dropped on a criminal record?
I
think only convictions show up, right?
Yeah.
I know there's different tiers of looking up a criminal record. The police can see multiple things, but I think if you pay for a criminal record, I don't know if charges and drop charges ever show up. You'd have to get a sponge from your record. And even if you do that, I think there's some background checks that show that.
And I think it depends on how much you're paying for it as well. How much probably shows up.
Oh, right? For the criminal,
right.
The background check. I don't know. But you can't... I kind of have this attitude. Maybe this is wrong. Everybody's sus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what the kids say. Everybody's sus.
All right. So this is just something that I found real quick. It says, unfortunately, all arrests appear on search results when doing a background check, irrespective of how the case ended. So whether or not it was charges were dropped or not, you were still arrested for this here. Whether you were charged and convicted, doesn't matter. It still shows on your background check that you were arrested at one point in time. So with this guy, Mr. Rappe, he wasn't arrested. So they took the lady's statement. Nobody believed him. He gets away with it scot-free. Never arrested, never charged, never convicted. So therefore, it's never going to show up on a background check, at least based on what I'm reading here.
Right. Just because she brought up his name doesn't mean it shows up in her record.
This includes not only charges that result in convictions or plea bargains, but also those that were dropped or dismissed, as well as acquittals. An arrest will show up even if you were not charged. So if Katz never was arrested, then nobody was ever going to know.
I wonder how many times he drove, like he dropped off a package at that place. And
Right.
Had thought about it.
Yeah.
Realm of opportunity.
We're brought up to believe that anybody who's going to abduct children wears a trench coat and has a van with no, and that's just not, it's just plain not true.
No, it's anybody and everybody. You said it yourself just a set ago. Everybody's sus. Everybody.
Predators are usually people you trust.
What's not to trust about the FedEx guy? He brings you your Amazon packages.
Yeah.
2 hours
out
there.
Yeah.
I can see going outside to play maybe.
But you've told me before stories of your kid to go play in the creek and he'll be gone for an hour or so.
They're never alone. They're always together. They never are allowed to go by themselves.
Yeah, but how hard is that to snatch 3 kids up at once? You know,
Pretty
for some people,
difficult.
that's like jackpot.
It's a crazy. Nobody. That is not. I don't think that's the same. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is, and she's 7.
Yeah.
Just a crazy story. Now every FedEx driver and UPS are like, oh man,
right.
I'm getting all this smoke on me, and I
gotta go through training.
Yeah. Right.
Like we do when somebody messes up.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Tulsa's Morning Show is coming right back. The Big Mad Morning Show. Tulsa's Rock Station 97.5 KMOD. From the Supermercado Morelos Traffic Center, KMOD Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Billy Sims Barbecue.
Billy Sims Barbecue makes catering as easy as 1, 2, 3. We are now booking catering for the holiday season, so give us a call and let us do all the work. Visit us at BillySimsBBQ.com for location information or to request a catering quote for the holidays.
Still the 3 ongoing side street collisions to deal with. West Edison near North Quanah, right close to Owen Park, Memorial Drive at East 91st, and Yale Avenue at East 111th. Otherwise, mostly we have cleared out with the exception of the Gilcrease Expressway, east and westbound near the LL Tisdale. And then again on the newly open stretch at 64-412 in both directions. I'm Gary Mack. Follow us on Twitter at Total Traffic TUL.
You're listening to the Big Man Morning Show. The Big Man Morning Show presents Hey Heroes, You Rock, powered by U.S. Cellular. The Bmms wants to say thank you to everyday heroes that make our community even better. First responders, teachers, nurses, all those who go beyond the call of duty. Go to KMOD.com to find out how to nominate your hero. Hey Heroes, You Rock. Brought to you by U.S. Cellular. More of the Big Man Morning Show is next.
Hey, Alexa, play KMOD on iHeartRadio.
Getting KMOD station from iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio Alter Ego 2023.
Presented by Capital One.
LA Alter Ego. Featuring Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Standing in line to see the show tonight. Fall Out Boy.
Jack White.
What's the trick?
Muse will be on the stage.
No one's gonna take me alive. Phoenix, Churches,
Beach Weather. And Rosalind.
Alter, hell yeah, you want to go?
Ego 2023. Presented by Capital One.
So this year we had to set the bar even higher.
Tickets are completely sold out. Now your only way in is to win.
Listen for keywords to win your VIP trip right here, and we'll see you Saturday,
January 14th.
Kia Forum, LA.
Capital One is the proud presenting partner of iHeartRadio Alter Ego 2023, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Well, hello there. Gimpy with the Big Man Morning Show, and I love Cox. You should start the season off with great connections. You know, Cox can tell you if you qualify for free internet through the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program. You know, credits typically begin within one bill cycle. It's a limited time program and subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/ACP. You know, the holidays mean family and movies. So gather together to stream traditional favorites or the latest shows on popular apps like Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Peacock on your Contour stream player. Learn more at cox.com.
You want an approachable banking relationship, but you keep getting the same disconnected experience. Enjoy the neighborly side of banking with We Street, a community-focused credit union where neighbors become members and members become family. It's time to get what you want. Join We Street today and experience the difference. We Street Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
Okay, so I'm sure I'll feel better next week. So this is what it feels like to be older? No thanks. I'm just going to stay home and rest today. Hi, this is Greg with your Tulsa Men's Clinic. These are the things you catch yourself saying when you're low on testosterone or HGH. Next week comes and then the week after, and you continue to feel worse and worse. I mean, you think you're getting old, but this is 2022 and you don't have to feel old anymore. Now the things you used to enjoy have just become tasks. What kind of life is that? Look, we've developed the ultimate in low T therapy that even eliminates the negatives and enhances the benefits. Get back to the man you used to be, or maybe even better. We need all our Oklahoma alpha males. So why not get back safely, effectively, and affordably? Masculinity is not toxic. Acting like a girly man is. Let us get you back to looking, feeling, and acting like an alpha male again. Get started today. Call 918-897-1000. That's 897-1000. Or at TulsaMen.com. That's TulsaMen.com. And remember, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hey there, friends. Adam here from Robertson Tire. You know, Robertson Tire has been around for 60 years. And not only are they the locally owned, family-operated shop you've come to love, but everyone's crazy about Robertson Tire. In fact, here's Stephanie from Claremore with her own Robertson Tire story.
It was 2014. I was struggling as a nursing student, and I went in to get a tire fixed. After they fixed my tire, they noticed I didn't have a spare tire. He was so concerned he didn't want me on the road in the winter with no spare. He fixed my tire and gave me the spare. They showed me they care more about people than they do just tires. I'm now a Robertson customer for life.
Do you have a Robertson story? Email answer at robertson-tire.com. And don't forget to check out robertsontire.com for deals all year long.
Robertson Tire. Keep rolling with Robertson.
The Big Mad Morning Show. Show at KMOD.com. Call 918-460-KMOD or text BMMS to 82945. Back to the BMMS on 97.5 KMOD.
Good morning. It's the Big Man Morning Show. 918-460-KMOD. Time to find out what everybody learned. We'll start with Lindsay. Lindsay, what'd you learn today?
That the U.S. soccer team was eliminated and from the World Cup. Sad we lost, but happy. I've got 4 years before I have to pretend to care about soccer again. And also, Gimpy wasn't the only celebrity at the Cowboy Cup over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
I learned that Tina from Napoleon Dynamite was also there.
You did.
Gimpy, what'd you learn today?
I learned these lawyers are such betas. I also learned that Lindsay's old man spent his day eating out in bed.
I learned that Lindsay's husband dropped peanuts on the floor.
Oh, good for you.
And I also learned that there's this guy that totally steamrolled Gimpy, and he was like, oh, my. It was more than he could handle. It's Corbin saying, make sure that dishwasher is loaded right.
It's Lindsay. Stop tracking my cycle.
This is Gimpy, and I'm sorry.
Thank you. Far too kind. Yeah. Ready?
Single dad.
Just saying. Right? That would be the way to do it. All right. But Lindsay, well endowed.
Yeah, I would say get on a match. Hire a matchmaker. Hire a matchmaker. I don't think you're ever going to just find someone well endowed unless you are looking on someone's OnlyFans page, maybe. I would say a guy that has some junk is going to start his own page if he's single.
Gimpy.
I don't know. I don't know where to start, and I don't want to know where to start.